Damn it. Damn it, damn it.
I have been falling for 30 minutes. If you actually think that I was just the right gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, gay guy, nigga, gay guy, gay guy. And you check your
I'm a kiss in the backseat. You know just how we do.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is the predominantly straight and white world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded, tone deaf, rockin' with you. I want to welcome one and all to the Clown World Review, and welcome back to the Monday Night War retrospective. What are we on? Weeks 55, 56 now? We've got the NWO going full steam ahead, causing chaos everywhere. And over on WWF, we've got Mankind, Taker, they're going at it. But more importantly, Bret Hart and Steve Austin loom on the horizon. We're going to be seeing them mix it up in the ring in just a couple of months. I'm so excited for that. We've got big things in store for you tonight on the show. And yeah, it only gets better from here. So let me shout out everybody in the chat. Who do we have? Superfan Adam Shahan was first. Good to see you, brother. Chris Fisk. Man, the Fisk is in. That's the new slogan for you, brother. The Fisk is in. Yeah, we've got Good Stuff Comic Skater. I was over on his channel with Good Stuff himself and Mrs. Good Stuff. What was that? Sunday night. They all kind of run together at a certain age. It's not my fault. 24 Eyes. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for joining us. Who else do we have here? I'm all flattering myself like there's anyone else. That's everybody. It's good to see you all. Thank you for joining us. And yeah, always a pleasure to have you guys join our live stream. So thank you. Let me go ahead and introduce our panel now. First, making his way from, I think they're both from the Midwest, actually, but the Vampire might count as kind of East Coast. It ain't that far from New York. First, making his way to the ring from the Midwest. He's got the red, white, and blue running through his veins like he's Demi Lovato. Hail Papa Cotton. He was born and raised in the USA like Elon Musk. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Mr. Etep Wokuian from Etep Wokuian's Place to Be Reviews.
Hail, and tonight we sacrifice Owen Hart via Stone Cold Steve. I have been fought. Shut up, Owen. Ooh,
Revenge.
Take that, Owen. You son of a bitch. Oh, hi, I'm Etep Wokuian from the Place to Be Reviews. I'm not bitter at Owen Hart, and neither are any of yous. It's my honor and privilege to be here this evening. I love this time in wrestling up to 2001. Between 95 and 2001 is probably my favorite period of professional wrestling because you had three awesome promotions, the Monday Night Wars, and I'm a WCW fan to my core. So, yeah, it's great to be here, Tony. Thank you as always for having me, brother. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, man. Just fucking honor every time you join us, bro. I'm glad to be doing this show with you.
Thank you.
Next up, we have the world's wokest vampire. I'm so sorry. I keep forgetting my intro.
No, you're good. It's good to be here as always. Like Etep was saying, a lot of shit's going down in WCW. Probably like the best time to be a wrestling fan.
Yes.
Fucking it's so good. The NWO, and
Yeah.
then you got Sting, who like is like fed up, which we'll get into.
Yeah.
And which we kind of had a callback to that in AEW this past week.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Which was pretty cool because I got the mask Sting basically, and then he like takes the mask off, and obviously it's Sting underneath and fucks some people up. But yeah,
Did he go Kevin Spacey with it? Like he was wearing the Kevin Spacey mask, and then
he was wearing a Sting mask, and he looked like a fan in the crowd because the sign that he had said, "I'm here for Darby Allin," and the one guy from Private Party like grabs a sign out of his hands, the guy's hands, and rips it up, throws it on the ground, and as his back's turned, he like pulls the mask up, and it's fucking Sting with the face paint underneath that mask.
So let me make sure I'm following right. You had Sting in a Kevin Spacey mask with a "I'm here for Darby Allin" sign.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, he had a Sting mask over his Sting makeup. But yeah.
Yeah. So it wasn't Kevin Spacey
No, it wasn't
asking
Kevin
for Darby.
Spacey.
Okay.
No, that would have been funny.
I mean, I'm just saying,
One is an older man, one is a younger boy. So,
Darby's been on hormone blockers since he was 11. I mean, I'm just,
But it was a coffin match, and it was pretty good.
That sounds good, dude. I need to go back. I have the TNT app, so I can go back and watch some of AEW. It's just we're usually streaming during Dynamite. Mm-hmm. We've got Wednesday Night Live over at the Place to Be Reviews, and then Friday, what is it, Rampage? It comes on so late, like I'm usually,
And it was like old school coffin, like the ones like that they use in like the Wild West, like so it's like a wooden coffin, and the lid had like thumbtacks on it, so like if somebody was like near it and you're gonna close it, you could like slam it on their back and shit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Dude, caskets are expensive too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, holy,
exactly.
Can you guys think of a cheaper match? Fuck. Like at least for TV,
Mm-hmm. We have the pine box match.
Like,
pretty much.
You know how many asses have to be in seats to pay for this fucking casket, motherfucker?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Let's go ahead. What I want to start doing is going through the specific date in wrestling history where we're at, just because that interests me. It's been so long since the times we're talking about. Yeah, I just want to kind of see what's gone down, this week or this day in wrestling history. So I was reading the 27th earlier, and it's totally the 26th, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Good times, Tony. Clap on the back. At least I'm not doing it, now on air, right? So, in 1992 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, we had a single-day title reign of the first ever Eastern Championship Wrestling champion. Jimmy Superfly Snuka was ended by Johnny Hotbody. Yeah. We had a 1994 Raw taping. The Head Shrinkers defeated the Quebecers, the Amazing French Canadians. The duo became the 15th and final team to win a tag team title while being managed by my Super Mario, not that squeaky fuck that showed up in Mario 64. No, my Super Mario, Captain Lou Albano. Like, what? Who pinched your balls, dude? At a WWF Superstars taping in 1995, Bob Holly defeated Jeff Jarrett to win the Intercontinental Championship. However, Jarrett's feet were on the ropes for the pin, so the title was upheld with a rematch ordered. The rematch took place the same night, but was aired a week later. Jarrett won that match. At the same taping, Hunter Hearst Helmsley made his WWF in-ring debut. So, what was that, 27 years ago? Yeah. 1998, WWF In Your House Unforgiven took place at the Greensboro Coliseum. in Greensboro, North Carolina. Now, that's my family's neck of the woods. Stone Cold Steve Austin made his first defense of the WWF Championship against Dude Love. The match was ended in a disqualification win for Love. Also, The Undertaker defeated Kane in their rematch to WrestleMania 14, and it was the first ever Inferno match. So remember that like it was yesterday, man. Austin would go on to wrestle Dude Love again the next month at the Over the Edge pay-per-view. And then a year later, Etep took out his toys and started doing offensive things with them. So, yeah. 1999, title changes galore on an episode of Monday Nitro in Fargo, North Dakota. In the first match of the night, Sting defeated Diamond Dallas Page to win the World Heavyweight Championship. However, he lost it back to DDP in a fatal four-way that also included Goldberg and Nash. In addition, the Cruiserweight Champion changed hands when Rey Mysterio defeated Psychosis. I remember when Sting defeated Page for the title, and I was kind of sad that he lost it back the same night. Number one, I had been waiting for Page to become champion, and then they turned him heel to do it. Like, that dude was white hot.
Yeah.
You know, he would, okay, maybe Goldberg might have been more over, more popular, but number one, that I promise you that would have faded. Page, he had a lasting appreciation with the fans, and I mean, he was maybe a couple degrees. Goldberg was maybe a few degrees more over than DDP was. Page was on fire, and they turned him fucking heel. Like, why? So
yeah. Goldberg wasn't much more over than Page, dude. It was, Page was like the real people's champion. Like The Rock started calling him so. Diamond Dallas Page was like dubbed that. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So in 2009, Backlash took place in Providence, Rhode Island. All three brands, titles for all three brands changed hands that night. Christian defeated Jack Swagger for the ECW Championship. Randy Orton won the WWE Championship in a six-man tag match. This is when they're doing Legacy. His partners were Cody Rhodes and Ted DiBiase Jr. They took on Triple H, Batista, and Shane McMahon. Orton won the title as a stipulation of the bout. And finally, Edge defeated John Cena for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship in a last man standing match. Yeah, I mean, that's mainly all. The 2015, they had an Extreme Rules, the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Seth Rollins defeated Randy Orton in a steel cage. Kane acted as the gatekeeper. The New Day. It's hard to believe they've been around that long. Holy shit.
Wait, how long?
So this is in 2015. The New Day,
Jesus.
when
they've been
their
around for a while.
historic first WWE Tag Team Championship from Tyson Kidd and Cesaro. Also today, it's Frank Gotch's birthday. When do you think Frank Gotch was born? What year?
1918.
Draven.
I don't know who he is, so
Frank Gotch was born in 1877.
Holy shit.
We've also got Tank Abbott's birthday, 1965, and America's mayor, Mr. Glenn Jacobs, happy birthday, 1967. Yeah. So an eventful day, April 26th is in wrestling history.
Whose birthday did you say before Kane?
I totally left Draven on Solo. My bad.
I was
running with it.
I was wondering why it was on there. I was going to take it off, but I'm like, he probably did it for a reason. I'll just leave it.
It's the coolest avatar anyway, so
it's pretty. I know. I was like getting lost staring at it. Whose birthday did you say before Kane's?
Tank Abbott.
Is he dead?
Hopefully.
Is he
still? I don't think he's dead.
Is he still? I was like, there's no way he's still alive. Is he?
Tank Abbott, he's still alive. Yeah.
How? How the fuck is Tank Abbott still?
He's only
alive?
57.
Really?
Yeah.
That sack of shit
Jesus.
is only that much older than me? Jesus
He
Christ.
looks
He looks
different
really
now.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure he looks like shit.
Hey, at least it was Draven's avatar, and I didn't leave it on this shit. Like, wow.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, that one right there. I was gonna
I'm
share.
gonna join
Should be me.
WCW, and I'm gonna be bigger than Stone Cold. And that's what he told the Turner execs. And,
He did too.
yeah.
He
Wow.
was a fucking waste of air. Like they wasted so much money on that sack of shit.
Yeah.
Like
no
he
shit.
was a fucking worthless pile of shit in
looks like-
WCW.
He looks like a non-binary McFoley right here.
Mhm.
It's McFoley's stunt double.
Oh, speaking
He's
of
the Wish
bags of
McFoley.
shit. What's that, Draven?
He's the Wish McFoley
Yeah,
in that
yeah.
He
picture.
is.
Jesus.
Jesus, who looks worse, him or Lex Luger?
Mm,
Luger, he has ALS.
Mm.
I think.
Fair
doesn't
enough.
This is his
Doesn't he?
emo. This was
God.
his emo phase right here.
he? Oh my god.
It's
Is that a
not
wig?
a fade, Mom.
It's gotta be a wig.
Jesus.
He does have a cool beard though. I'll give him that. Like he can grow a hella fucking goatee.
Mm.
Yeah, so could Jack Murphy. I don't, you know. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure Tank Abbott's been pegged a few times.
Hail Judas Goat Barbecue. Hail Glenzer. Hail Keely Chow.
The fuck did he go? There he is. There's
The
Glinzer.
The Fandominus Chitari.
I love it. Kimbo, yeah, Kimbo's dead because death is racist. Kimbo had one too many backyard fights. Yeah.
I forgot Kimbo died. Remember when everyone tuned into that Ultimate Fighter? I think he fought against Roy Nelson. Everyone's like, Kimbo's gonna fuck this dude up.
Yeah,
And
Roy
everyone
Nelson
learned-
beat his fucking
Yeah,
ass.
everyone learned the difference real quick between backyard fighting and mixed martial arts. Like,
Yep. And that Roy Nelson was just a big fat dude too. He was a bad motherfucker though. Like
yeah.
like I said, well, I laughed of all those. I don't want to derail too much, but like it's I don't know if it's on YouTube or not. But Kimbo Slice fought this guy that was like barely a UFC fighter named Sean Gannon in like this fucking like I don't know empty office or some shit. There was a bunch of people around watching, and Sean Gannon just destroyed him basically for like 15 minutes, like in like chokeholds and stuff like that. And all Kimbo's, man, that ain't fair, dog. That ain't fair. It's like, no, bitch, it is.
I remember that. I think
Yeah, I
I
remember
remember that. Because
I
that was,
forgot.
that was probably one of the more watched seasons of The Ultimate Fighter.
Oh,
That show
yeah.
got really popular around then. Everyone wanted to see Kimbo. Like, I think that was the most watched Ultimate Fighter episode, was the one with Kimbo Slice. But hey, everyone knew who Roy Nelson was after that, and he'd go on to have a career. And I remember he was fighting Frank Mir, and Joe Rogan was just bagging on because Mir has been doing this for a while. He went to school right up. I think he went to the same school as Ryback. I think. But that right up the street from me, you know. And then he worked security. Where's that picture of Tank Abbott? See, it says the Hard Rock Hotel behind him, and that's where Frank Mir worked. I'm not sharing my screen anymore.
Come on,
I
kid.
get excited, you guys. Right here it
Tony's
says,
first day on the internet.
yeah, it says Hard Rock Hotel. That's where Frank Mir worked as security, like well into his UFC career. Like not
Okay.
either not long after he won his first heavyweight championship, or maybe it was just like a year before UFC 100 when he wrestled, or when he fought Brock Lesnar, when he was
remember
finally
that.
able to quit his day job. Yeah.
I remember him beating Lesnar. That was like,
Well,
you know,
that was the first one. Then at 100, Lesnar kind of dominated him.
yeah. Oh yeah, he got a rematch. And Lesnar fucking beat his ass
Yeah.
because he was pissed he lost.
Looks like
yeah.
Brian Stelter on roids. I can't believe Stelter. I can't look at Stelter and think millennial, but dude is like 4 years younger than me.
How,
Like, what
how is
the
he?
fuck?
He looks like I'm 42. He looks like he's older than me. He looks
Jesus.
older than me. I don't
It's
look
a-
at. Dude, I don't look. I don't. Oh Jesus! I'm in witness protection again.
It's
Like
awful.
me and Brian have the same barber, and I don't look 42. I don't. I mean, I got a little bit of gray going on over here, but
Like,
Yeah, I
he
would have
looks older than
thought you were
me.
around my age. Honestly,
I do. I get that. You know, it's all good.
Yeah,
My fucking camera's a piece of shit.
same with
Fuck this
Tony,
camera.
but he's old as fuck too.
I am.
This motherfucker, Draven's like fucking 38. Don't this motherfucker over here?
36.
This motherfucker over here is 47 years old, talking shit.
I'm only 36. Shit, I'm the baby.
He is
here.
70. He is 75 fucking years old. He's a vampire. He's ageless. It doesn't matter. Maybe he's
As
born
a
with
vampire, I'm
Maybe it's
a couple
Maybelline.
thousand years old.
Maybe
so,
it's Maybelline.
Whose quote is that, Chris?
You're all kidding.
Oh shit!
Where's manliness and motivation when you need him?
It's this guy right here.
I am sick and tired of playing around with kids.
Yes.
It's Kevin Luger,
Kevin.
Lex Spacey.
That sounds like the latest WWE. Used to be diva, now I'll say women's wrestler.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lex Spacey. Good to see you,
Mhm.
chick. You know, Freddy Krueger could work too. You know, at least he wasn't as evil as, you know, our current mob of celebrities. So, yeah. Yes.
Okay, that's a pet peeve of mine.
Mm.
Was on the on all the video games was like when their hidden characters were like stupid and they were like, "Hey, here's Fred Durst," or "Here's fucking Freddy Krueger." Or, I'm like, no, why don't you give me like some of the mid-carders that aren't in the fucking game? You know, like we were talking. I think me and Tony were talking about this the other day. Because I was watching the wrestling bios, I think it was.
The first SmackDown had some decent like hidden.
It did.
Characters.
You know
She has, like,
what?
the Blue Meanie and stuff. Like the first one, you had to play through story mode
Yep.
like a bunch of different times and like do different choices and stuff just to unlock stuff.
Yeah.
You know what game has a really great roster on PlayStation 1 was Thunder. WCW Thunder. That game has a deep roster and all like the unlockable characters are like workers.
That
I mean,
was one of their last games, right?
I literally have it in a box right down here. Just I think I don't know if I still have the case, but it's in this here shoebox, I believe. It's in one of these.
That's fantastic, Chris. He says his former co-worker made the Shockmaster a hidden character as a joke because they knew THQ was on their way out.
Wow.
In Thunder? That's dope. Here it is right here. Here's Thunder right here.
I thought it was so weird because it's like Thunder was such a B show at that point, but they had already had a Nitro game and they had Revenge, and then they came out with Thunder. Like, why?
Dude, Thunder it's actually a good game.
Yeah.
September we get the AEW game.
Where the fuck did I get this? Jesus. There's boxes everywhere. That's what she said. No, the Nitro Did they release Nitro on N64? Because if so, I really need to buy that.
I know it was on the first PlayStation.
It was on PS1 because that's like we used to play that. Me and my buddies used to play that shit all the time.
And they had
it's for 64.
Is it? Fuck! I'm gonna order that on eBay right now. Fuck this.
I think we talked about it before, but like on Nitro, when you're in the character selection, you can hit like select or one of the buttons, and the wrestler cuts a little promo. It cuts to a live action and all of them sounded great, at least for the time, except for Hogan. It literally sounds like he called in on the phone.
Yeah. Okay. So they do have Nitro for N64. I'm buying it tonight. Who made that? THQ. So is it a Ukes? I wonder how the controls are.
I don't know if it's Ukes or not.
I think it's a little different, but I remember it wasn't so bad. So yeah, we better jump into tonight's show.
Sorry.
No, I'm just like we're 30 minutes in and I want to fucking talk about old wrestling games. And if you haven't checked out Wrestling Bios, awesome channel. Most of his videos are just, I don't even say most, but all of his videos are fantastic, but I'm so into the video game ones. And like there was an Xbox exclusive wrestling game, WWF game that I hadn't heard of. It's just like WWF Raw or whatever. And he goes into that and just all kinds of stuff that I forgot about.
Revenges for 64. WCW NWO Revenges for
I was playing that with Trey the other day.
Revenge
we were the Heart
game.
We're the Heart Foundation. Revenge is like the WCW No Mercy, but No Mercy has a better, like, they don't have the creator wrestler. You can change their costumes.
My buddy was all like into No Mercy and Sorry. I just didn't like the controls. I'm a SmackDown guy.
See, I remember when I first switched to SmackDown, and I was kind of sad. Like, I
like the SmackDown games just because I like the controls better. They're easier to pick up for me. I don't know. Maybe
I was just so used to No Mercy and WrestleMania 2000, and then they started doing the SmackDown.
It's just going to be the two of us now. It's just going to be the two of us. We're just going to leave him backstage for a little bit.
Now, to be fair, the new AEW game is going to be by the guys who did No Mercy and Ukes.
Yeah.
So it's the best of both worlds, because in the video game community for wrestling games, No Mercy and basically the SmackDown games are like top tier.
SmackDown vs. Raw is still one of my 07 is still one of my favorite games outside
I stopped
of No
at the first SmackDown vs. Raw.
See, 07 is really good. Like,
see, that's why I mean there are too many. Like they started coming out with them every year. Like, fuck.
They didn't need to do that. You could. But the only reason to do it is to update the rosters.
Yeah,
really,
but it's like. Yeah, and now that we're in the age of the internet, there's really no need to do that, but they do, and it's like, unless you have drastic changes, I don't want to fucking.
I'm hoping the rumor is true that the AEW game is going to do that. They'll update the roster as time goes instead of releasing a game every.
Yeah,
that would make more sense. Even if you charge like a flat fee for like the DLC to it. I mean, honestly, like if I'm like, hey, if I don't have to buy another version of this game and re-download it, and I can just get new DLC like once a year, get an update, or like even if they did it a couple times, well, with mocap working, I mean, it'd be once a year.
Yeah.
I mean,
completely.
Yeah, if you're like, hey, $50, yeah, cool. Oh, dude, World Tour on N64, I still play that. I still play that game.
We've really got to jump into Nitro now.
All right.
So real quick, Judas Go Barbecue says, I think I mentioned this before, but there's a mod in Skyrim where dragons are changed into giant Macho Man Randy Savages. That's freaking awesome.
I've seen that. That's really good.
And then the Macho Dragon is why Mr. Fisk bothered playing through Skyrim to the end, because I'm wild. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So,
right,
Nitro from September 16th, 1996, scored a 3.7 rating compared to Raw's 2.1, making this the okay, so if you're not counting the 2 weeks where they went where Raw was preempted for the US Open, this is the 12th week in a row that Nitro has outperformed Raw. They're coming to you from the Asheville, North Carolina Civic Center. It's so weird because then Raw, they're in Wheeling, West Virginia at the Civic Center. And again, Raw scored a 2.1, which I gotta say, like when we first started this like a year ago, that was a pretty good rating. Like Raw and Nitro were both around the 1.8 to like 2.3 area. Now Nitro, their audience is just blowing up. They're at a 3.7. Raw's at a 2.1, and that's a lot more people watching wrestling than were a year ago at this time. But then again, a year ago at this time, we were having fucking the Dungeon of Doom shave off Hogan's mustache. So Nitro Hour 1, our commentators are Tony Schiavone and Larry Zbyszko. current champions are world champion Hollywood Hulk Hogan, U.S. champion Ric Flair, not for long. Tag champions Harlem Heat, not for long. Television champion Lord Steven Regal, and cruiserweight champion Rey Mysterio. Nitro starts off with a recap of Fall Brawl and the real Sting destroying Imposter Sting and the NWO before leaving Luger, Flair, and Anderson on their own to lose. The NWO then beats up Randy Savage for a little while in the ring, spray paints Miss Elizabeth, and completely humiliate her. So fans are shown at the entrance of the arena handing out NWO propaganda flyers. They're really pushing the NWO, and like it's no wonder why they caught on and were the cool thing. Like they were showing fans celebrating the heels. So
Yep.
yeah, and that's just something you didn't see much at that time in professional wrestling. So
No, because they didn't want you to. They didn't want the heels to be. They wanted you to hate the heels. And these were heels that were like. It was because it was the end of the 90s. You're talking the tail end of that counterculture type thing.
and the type of merchandise they were moving to.
Black and white T-shirts that said NWO. That's it.
I still remember I was so mad that DDP lost to Goldberg at Halloween Havoc. I went out there that night to the concession stands and bought a Hollywood rag. Like, that's how upset I was.
I've got my Hollywood rag in my gear bag with my black and white feather, but with my black and white feather boa that I wore to the ring in honor of Hulk Hogan.
The NWO kind of started that blurred lines between the heel and face.
No, it was Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
Fuck Shawn Michaels and Triple H.
So our first
couple guys already did.
Yeah.
Oh.
Our first match of the night, a classic. Even though it may not have been at the time, it sure as hell is now. Rey Mysterio defeats Hooven Tude Guerrera in 6 minutes 54 seconds when Hoovy attempts a super power bomb off the top rope, which we almost missed because the camera guys were so infatuated with showing us the fans handing out propaganda that, they switched back just in time to catch it. Hoovy went to powerbomb Rey off the top rope, but Rey reverses into a Hurricane Rana. Again, reversed a powerbomb into a Hurricane Rana, but at this time in wrestling, we weren't used to the style as much. So Tony Schiavone's just marking out about how spectacular that was. That's the first time we've ever seen a powerbomb reversed like that. How far we've come.
Yep.
Yeah. Like it was power bomb reversed by a Hurricane Rana.
But you had more of an appreciation for that stuff back then, because now you'll see that, 2-3 times a night sometimes. Yeah. Back then, like you said, man, not everybody could watch AAA or Super Astros from Mexico.
It just seems so like common sense now. Like that's how you
it is.
So they weren't even calling them a Hurricane Rana. It's all of them were a Frankensteiner.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So during the match, Schiavone mentions the NWO's demands will be met from Fall Brawl, including possibly their own TV show. Also this week, Glacier will debut. And I'm just saying, and feel free to prove me wrong. In fact, I want to be proven wrong. But have you ever seen Glacier and Jose Lothario in the same place at the same time?
Jose Lothario, my favorite wrestling trainer.
Just saying, guys.
I think you're right. You might be onto something. This might be a deep dive conspiracy we have going on here.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So remember that we almost missed the finish of this match for fans handing out NWO propaganda. We go to the back to speak to all the horsemen that can't cut a promo. Steve Mongo Mcmichael, who just last week was before Sting, it showed the imposter Sting even run out of the limo and beat anyone up or anything. When just they went to cut a promo last week and Sting just wasn't there. Mm-hmm. Fucking Mongo Mcmichael's over there telling Lex Luger that Sting is a traitor and this and that, and they can't trust him. Now, this week, Steve Mongo Mcmichael is, well, I'm going to talk to Lex Luger. You need to find Sting and try to calm him down and get him back in the fight. Like, fuck you, dude. That, like, this is at least a quarter your fault.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, when Lex was telling everyone last week to calm down, they could trust Sting until the imposter came out and beat him up. And everyone else was saying he was a fucking traitor then. So,
Yeah.
Anyway, Mcmichael's saying that he's backstage with Benoit and Deborah, and Mike Tenay's taking Okerlund's job tonight. I believe this is the second week in a row he's taken Okerlund's job. So, Deborah gets on the mic with her wooden mic skills and says that her husband spent 15 years making a living taking out the NFL's toughest guys. And then Benoit just said something autistic. He's like, as we walk down the path, our enemies will pop, 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 pop. Like, and it just totally didn't match the tone that had been set here. So, yeah. We then get a new Glacier package, and it was awful. It didn't get me any more excited for the character. What did you think, Draven?
Like as a kid, I was like all excited for Glacier. And then like I remember him just kind of coming and then just disappearing and fading into obscurity. But as a kid, I enjoyed him.
Why do you remember Glacier coming as a kid?
God damn.
No, for real, it looked like there was this mysterious.
It was a botched debut.
There was a mysteriousness about Glacier, even with those long-running fucking promos. But then when you hear him talk, he's all, hey there, and bust into a diatribe about Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Like, what the fuck? Like, that's not how... Yeah, his voice didn't do him any favors.
As he gets in the ring and takes a shit right in the middle of the ring.
Like that ain't snow raining all over the audience.
It's kicking wing help. I got the poo on me.
No, but he's just like, and this symbol on my back is the Japanese symbol for death. And this is that, and that is this. And like anything mysterious about his fucking character, he goes ahead and clears up in this video package now, doesn't he?
Yeah, or like when Gangrel like started talking.
No, that was a mistake, dude. He never should have talked. Yep. He never should have talked. There's in Glacier, dude, I'm sorry. If you're gonna do that kind of gimmick, like some corn pone ass country white boy, that ain't it. Like I'm not taking anything away from him because his martial arts stuff was like at least forms look good, you know? But the whole him having a southern accent, it didn't work.
Yeah, they did use him in AEW. They did use him in AEW.
But I mean, does someone like that maybe not have them talk, or at least for the first like big spike of their career? You know,
give him a manager.
It's like it would be like you turn on Star Wars and you see the first fucking part of the movie with Darth Vader fucking kidnapping Princess Leia and everything, and then he sits down like, "Hey guys, so." I got this helmet here when my former master cut my fucking extremities off on a volcano planet and just tells you everything about him before the rest of the movie goes on. Like, it's just, why would you do that? Like, if there's a certain mysteriousness that needs to be upheld with a character like that.
If Darth Vader started with, so hey there, I'd have lost my shit. I'd have lost my shit. Like,
yeah, and like at least have a cool fucking accent, like, you know, I am the Undertaker, and you fucking hear a light accent in there, but it just
He made a cameo appearance at Double or Nothing. I guess they had like a Royal Rumble type thing, and he was
okay.
Still running with Glacier,
but yeah,
see, that's the original gear.
Yep.
Jesus.
So, but he wants to. The reports are he wants to make an AEW comeback. Like he wants to like do some more shit with them. So
I will say this: he's kept his hairline exactly the same. Good,
Yeah.
good for him.
Yeah.
Good for you, Ray.
I mean,
So.
still running with Glacier. Like, dude, I don't think it's gonna work.
Nope.
It hasn't worked in the last 20-some years. It ain't gonna
Yeah.
work now, homie.
Close
It
to
ain't gonna work
30,
now.
like 26 years. man.
Don't fucking remind me of that, okay?
So yeah, so we get that. We graped any mystery and intrigue away from the character, and then we go on to DDP versus Ice Train with Teddy Long. Who knows what happened? Well, what do you mean, Tone Deaf? I mean, there's an entire like convoluted ending to this match, but we missed all of it because we're looking at the fucking NWO fans again. So they had to show, like, all you know is
He's
the
so
DDP
angry.
I
won,
know.
and it's like, okay, and then they had to go back on replay and show you that DDP is stuck in a full Nelson. Ice Train has him in a full Nelson, but he's able to grab the white towel from Teddy Long and throw it towards Crooked Nick Patrick, who rings the bell and calls the match for Paige. It's like, but you didn't know that until they had to fucking replay it because they were showing the fucking NWO fans again. Like, guys.
Do that in between matches, not like during a match.
Hey guys,
Hey, what's up,
What's
Vinny?
up, Vinny?
I came in while Tony was upset. You okay, Tony?
I took a couple breaths.
He's so
Thank God.
He's so angry.
It's a beautiful thing. Hey, you know what? You could go right on Twitter now, and they can't kick you off.
It's
Yep.
not anger; it's passion.
I'm gonna go tell AOC to learn how to code again.
Oh God.
It's gonna be my first action under the Elon Musk regime.
Oh shit!
Let's tell AOC to learn how to code.
It's all about.
Right.
I've seen
It's just for toxic white men now. This is
Oh.
horrible. Go ahead, Draven.
I seen that some people that like lost their accounts or they were suspended are back now. Like
Yep.
Drunk's old account is back and
Yep.
and shit, which is awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yes. So what you might have missed then, Vinny, if you came in when I was upset, is after months and months and months and months of hyping Glacier, he's debuting tonight. But before he debuts, they go ahead and run a video package that just takes away any mystery from the character. Like, a character like that, you shouldn't have talking, but he's not only does he talk, he sounds like an utter hillbilly, and he's literally telling you what every little symbol on his outfit means and where he trained and how he trained, and it's like, so now I don't give a fuck about the character at all. Like, no wonder why it botched.
Yeah. Glacier was a fail of epic proportions. I mean, like I said, I feel bad because the dude put everything he had into that character and that gimmick, but
He let you know before he even debuted.
dude, the crowd was on their hands during his match. Like, there was a couple spots where they popped, but his karate, they were just like, okay, whatever. Like, dude, you're just flailing your arms around. You look like a disco dancer.
Karate doesn't mix well with professional wrestling.
No.
It never has.
No, it does not. Those type gimmicks don't. It doesn't translate.
Like
you can do it with mixed martial arts. That like can like that kind of stuff like works.
But there's a thin line between Ken Shamrock and Steve Blackman.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So
I like Blackman.
I did too, but like again, the fans would sit on their hands.
Yep. It was sad too because he was actually kind of entertaining when they put him with, like, was it Goldust? Was it him and Goldust? I think we're tag
someone
team.
like that, with someone with like two completely different personalities.
Yeah, I think it was Goldust. There was Al Snow.
Al
maybe.
Snow. Yeah, Al Snow.
Al Snow was with him.
Yeah.
They worked well together.
Mm-hmm.
At WCW?
On WWF.
WWF.
Right.
Yeah.
But that was later.
Yeah. It was
I was gonna say I didn't remember him over there.
It's one
late
of the-
90s.
Yeah. So, all right, we
Sorry.
no, it's fine. So we missed the end of that match between DDP and Ice Train, but they replay it for us. We go back to fans. They're at a concession stand. They basically switched all the WCW merchandise out for NWO merchandise, and then we go to a commercial to come back to Six sitting in the audience, the former 1-2-3 kid. He was sitting in the audience, and he's there to watch the next match, which is Conan with Jimmy Hart, and Conan defeats Super Callow with a Black Tiger Bomb in 6 minutes 44 seconds. Then Mike Tenay goes over to interview Six, and Six mentions he wanted to go to War Games but didn't make it in time. Who won that match anyway? He says sarcastically. Then he says, well, obviously it was the New World Order. Oh, darn it. Ha. You know, and very unsubtly lets you know who he's rolling with. Then we get Brad Armstrong versus Hugh Morris. And this was clever. Hugh Morris actually, he should have won the match. He hits the no laughing matter, but then just kind of lays back on Armstrong, who rolls Morris up for the 1-2-3. So
Yep, that was slick.
Yeah,
That was a slick finish. I like that, actually.
Yeah,
because Brad Armstrong had a decent look if he would have shaved that mullet off. He had like a good physique, but he had no gimmick. He had no charisma whatsoever. Like, he needed to be part of a tag team.
They
Wouldn't it
needed
have been
Paul
funny?
Heyman.
They needed Paul Heyman. Yeah, I was gonna say would have been funny if it was the reverse of Samson. He cut his hair and he would have been a superstar.
I guarantee you, if he would have went to ECW, Heyman probably would have done something with him.
Yeah,
because he could actually work. He was a very competent worker. Of course, the Armstrongs, you know who he's related to. He's an Armstrong. Road Dogg, Bullet Bob Armstrong.
Oh yeah. Oh shit. I didn't know that.
He looks exactly like Road Dogg if you really look at him.
Road Dogg could work, but I fucking couldn't stand him. I hated his look. I hated everything about him. But I gave him respect. He did a good job. He could wrestle.
Are we talking about the WWF Road Dogg?
Yes.
Okay. I'm like, wait, yeah. Who did you say first? Road Dogg, Bullet Bob Armstrong?
Bullet's his dad. Scott Armstrong's his brother, Steve Armstrong.
Okay.
Scott was a WWF ref.
Yeah. I remember Scott Armstrong, the ref.
Yep.
Yeah. So, yeah, that's hour one of Nitro. And again, Raw's coming to you from Wheeling, West Virginia at the Civic Center with a 2.1 rating compared to Nitro's 3.7. And the current WWF champions are as follows. World champion is Shawn Michaels, won it at WrestleMania. The Intercontinental Championship is vacant, and there's a tournament going on right now. We're in the semifinals to crown a new champ. And the World Tag Champions are the Smoking Guns. So, yeah, tonight we're going to get the semifinal rounds of the IC tournament. And we're also going to hear from Bret Hart, who's in South Africa. And what's interesting about this is they're wrestling in South Africa on like a house show tour. And Bret Hart was wrestling Steve Austin. And this would make Bret realize that Steve was a really good wrestler. And, we're at the end of September. By the time we're at the end of November in Survivor Series, Bret and Steve Austin are going to have a mainstream feud. So, yeah, that's kind of notable. They were in South Africa. So, Jake
Elon Musk
Roberts,
connection. I knew it. So.
he should buy the WWE. Damn it.
Oh, that would be great. I'd watch again.
Mm-hmm.
His first order of business, get the F back in.
Hell yeah.
That would be. He's like, fuck those pandas.
Yeah. Pisses me off. Like,
He'll buy
once a
them, too.
fucking World Wrestling Federation has been around like decades longer than the World Wildlife Foundation. That was fucking bullshit.
Yeah.
That would be like me suddenly going by Vinnie Tartamella and taking Vinnie to court, and well, he shouldn't be able to use that name.
What are you, the honky talk man? Get the fuck out of here.
Like, it was his name first, man.
He was trying to do that to so many wrestlers. He would try to buy their fucking names.
Yeah.
What a piece of shit.
Well, isn't he Jerry Lawler's real life cousin?
I think he is.
Yeah.
Another turd.
So, speaking of Lawler, Raw starts with Jake Roberts making his way out after like a long time, since like the King of the Ring when Austin beat him. And he chases Jerry Lawler around the ring and up the ramp because Lawler for months now has been ragging on Jake Roberts over his alcohol addiction. When Ahmed Johnson had to get an operation done on his kidney, Lawler joked that they gave Ahmed one of Jake Roberts' kidneys, and just going off on him for months. So he chases Jerry up the ramp, and Jim Ross and Kevin Kelly are heckling Lawler over it when he returns to his position. Jake Roberts is out there to wrestle the debuting Sultan, who's Bob Backlund's new guy, and the Sultan was trained by the Iron Sheik, and he makes his debut, but not really because it's fucking Rikishi. And
Yeah, it
everyone
was
can
like,
tell.
yeah.
Wah,
Yeah.
wah, wah.
Yeah. It's just Rikishi's going to be Rikishi in a few years, so you got to ask yourself if the Sultan was successful.
He's debuting, guys. He's not. Shut up.
Yeah. So check this out. This is how the match ends. Jake Roberts actually has control over the Sultan until Jerry Lawler throws one of the mini airport bottles of booze at Jake Roberts.
Wow.
And that causes Jake to pay attention to Lawler, and Sultan gets him in a camel clutch.
See, substance abuse is funny.
It was in the 90s, and this is post Kurt Cobain, all right? We could make jokes back then.
No, I don't have a gun.
My wife did.
Wow.
That bitch killed him. You're sure?
Yes, she did. She totally did.
There's a documentary that pretty much shows it.
Yeah.
Hey, do you see, Tony, the second match here on Raw? Do you this one that's? Do you see that? Is that the tag team championship match? Or wait,
it is, but that's coming up after.
Okay.
We're gonna run over to Nitro.
Okay.
Real quick. So, what's up with it?
No, you go ahead. Let's go back to Nitro because my guys that match.
I see.
You see, it's a callback.
Real quick, after the Sultan versus Jake the Snake, Brian Pillman and Owen Hart are backstage. Owen claims that he and Brett are reunited. And at the pay-per-view, Mind Games, sorry, we're dealing with 2 WWF pay-per-views tonight, so bear with me. At Mind Games, Owen and Brett are going to reunite. And Pillman says he'll exclusively interview Bret Hart. But then Steve Austin shows up.
Take that, Owen, you bastard.
This is the beginning of something big here, because after feuding, we're 6 months away from their submission match at WrestleMania. Steve Austin shows up and says he'll be there too to get his answers firsthand, son, because the bottom line is Stone Cold is the best there is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Nitro begins at second hour with Mike Tenay calling Macho Man to the ring for an interview. Bischoff and Heenan take over on commentary, and Tenay reiterates the NWO beating last night at Fall Brawl. And Macho Man, he asks Macho Man about his Halloween Havoc title shot, if he's going to be 100%. Savage says he feels like a million miles below rock bottom right now. Him and Hogan are on the same planet at the same time, and it's going to get scary because he's down to one marble, and if he loses that one, it really doesn't matter, brother. Hogan, can you take what I got for you? I don't think so. Oh, yeah.
Hogan was like, that all depends, brother. Are you Bubba the Love Sponge's wife, brother?
So, Hogan, Hall, Nash, DiBiase, and the imposter Sting arrive in a limo, drinking out of solo cups and say there's no one around to beat up tonight. So, then we get Scott Norton versus Randy Savage, and Scott Norton wins this one via DQ. Now, see, WCW has different rules than WWF, and I'm so used to WWF's because apparently, as long as it's outside of the ring, you can beat the shit out of your opponent with a chair, as long as you don't bring the chair in the ring and hit the opponent. They won't DQ you.
I never realized that.
Yep.
Yeah, like Macho Man is beating the shit out of Scott Norton on the ringside area, and the ref is just sitting there making the count, watching him. And then Norton gets back in the ring, so Randy Savage takes the chair, jumps up to the top rope, and whacks Norton over the head with the chair from the top rope, and then the ref calls for the bell. It's like, oh. All right. And I've seen that a few times now where people do illegal shit on the outside, and they just, they don't ever make the DQ.
Exactly. Yeah, I never understood that either. It made no sense. It's so stupid. I was watching a match the other day, and well, two things regarding that. So one, they didn't hit the bell until so it was Owen again, Etep's favorite. Go throw him again. It was Owen versus supposedly the last match for Ultimate Warrior. Yahoo!
He almost hit my wine, that little cocksucker.
So might have saved his life.
All right, and I won't be title shot comes down, and he's hitting the mat, and then he finally decides he's going to jump in the ring. They didn't ring the bell until Warrior threw him into the corner. Then they rang the bell. It's like, what was with the weird delay? You know, it's like as soon as that third man comes in who's not supposed to be there during the match, isn't it automatically disqualification?
Yeah, it's like it was so inconsistent back then.
Yeah, it was so dumb. So, all right, yeah, we'll try this. We'll try. What the hell? We'll wing it. And then who came down? Vader came down, and I'm going, holy shit! I'm looking at the match. I'm going, all four of these guys are dead. Cocaine, hemp drug.
God damn.
Steroids.
Yeah. So,
holy shit.
Etep, would you like to call the next match for the WWF? I think it's a non-title match.
It is. It's a non-title match. Your WWF Tag Team Champions, the Smoking Guns, Bart and Billy, with Sonny, defend. You know, they go up against the team of Bob Holly and his partner, one of the most electrifying men in sports entertainment.
Wait. Who's Bob Holly? Oh,
Spark
you mean
Plug?
Spark Plug? Yeah.
Spark Plug. Spark Plug Holly. Spark E Plug and his tag team partner, the Trans-Scandinavian World Heavyweight Champion, the bringer of death and destruction, the eater of worlds, Alex Porto. One of the most
Who?
Alex Porto. This guy won the Scandinavian World Championship like 17 times. Like, dude was fire in Eastern Europe, far away. But so they're working a non-title match. Spark E Plug rolls up Billy Gunn after the champions became distracted by Owen Hart. I want me title shot. And I'm going to block you on Twitter because I carry a tennis racket and I'm a big fat baby, Jim Cornette. So here are your winners. Spark E Plug in the Scandinavian 17-time World Heavyweight Champion, Alex motherfucking Porto.
Thank God.
They didn't get a fucking title shot. It was bullshit.
Oh,
It was bullshit. Alex Porto should have been the next World Heavyweight Champion.
Hail Gap Stargate, Hail Brutal Morningwood, Judas Goat Barbecue.
Yeah.
I think I said what's up, but what's up again, man? Yeah, Alex Porto shining on Raw, dude.
He's unstoppable. You can't stop him. You can only hope to contain him, Tony.
So Glinzer says, Bringer of Death and Destruction, the Eater of Worlds. He thought you were talking about Lizzo.
got my head done.
That's
Check
good.
my nails.
Check my nails. Baby, how you feel? Feel good at hand.
Baby, how you feeling? Give me a hamburger.
Lizzo, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, I want to hear it now. It had to do with Lizzo.
I'll gladly pay you tomorrow for a hamburger today.
I was thinking the exact same damn thing. God.
Oh, Wimpy.
Yep.
She's hefty, not wimpy.
Whippy.
God damn.
So, Brutal Morningwood says it's all fun and games till that third guy shows up that's not supposed to be there.
Mm-hmm.
Not good. So, yeah, we get the tag match. Me title shot distracted the tag champs, and Jim Ross mentions at the beginning of the match that Diesel and Razor Ramon would be on Raw next week. He promises it. He guarantees it. Diesel and Razor will be live on Raw next week, which is going to be the Raw after the pay-per-view. So again, it's live. It's not pre-taped.
In Hershey, PA.
Yeah. Glacier makes his debut. And he made his debut. Defeats Big Bubba in 2 minutes 42 seconds via a reverse roundhouse kick after months of hype. Yeah, I've got to ask you, what did you think about Glacier's debut?
His entrance was kind of cool, but that was about it.
They spent all the money on his intro.
Morons.
I mean, it would.
It's all bark, no balls.
Yeah.
That
And some
gimmick-
basic bitch karate in the ring.
Yeah, like his
Bischoff
shit is.
showed him a few kicks.
Yeah, I was gonna say Eric. Eric was sitting there at the desk, and they kept hearing his hand hit the bottom of the desk because Eric was stroking it, watching Glacier throw them kicks and shit.
You just hear
No.
tonight on Nitro.
Accurate.
Yep.
I did like I was so underwhelmed like having watched this again now and seeing him re-debut. It's just like, yeah, because they built him up for months, and it's just like, here he is. It's this Southern dude who happens to do karate. Yay. Yeah, it's an underwhelming gimmick. Like, there's so many other things they probably could have done with him. They didn't do him any favors, saddling him with that bullshit.
I mean, but you got to think of like the gobbledygooker. Like, it could have been so much worse.
Yeah.
At least you get where Bischoff was coming from. Where it's like, okay, Mortal Kombat's on fucking fire. People love the game. People love the movie.
They could have teamed him up with Fire.
Right?
And
Ice
then you could have
Train.
had Glacier and Fire.
Should have teamed him up with the Ice Train.
Yeah. Or Ice. Yeah.
Like, I saw, I'm sorry, I don't remember who, maybe it was Glinzer. Someone said they should have debuted Glacier as a heel. Totally do that and have him like talk about what a badass he is at martial arts, except he has Ice Train as his fucking bodyguard to help him cheat constantly. And he just like, once they do cheat, he's like fucking showing off his moves, doing his lame ass kicks and everything, and just pissing the crowd off, Totally could have worked. It would have been good for at least a U.S. title run.
Yeah.
Possibly, yeah.
They
But then
should have mixed the ice and did Scorpion and did Fire instead.
Yeah.
Gap Stargate
Yep.
says all show, no substance, and he was what? It's like he was trying to stomp out a small fire, not karate kicks. Yeah,
They could even build him up if he was going to come in as a heel as like Scorpion instead of like Sub-Zero. They could have done it where he's like interfering in everybody's match and cost them the match, like he's like an assassin, sort of like Scorpion was. And freaking it would have been neat. I don't know,
but knowing them, they would have probably caught somebody on fire. It's kind of spastic back then.
Yeah.
All the dumb accidents that would happen here and there.
yeah. We're only 11 months out from the Yeti, so
Oh, thank God.
like Glacier could have been worse. That's all I'm saying. So
The Yeti.
True.
Oh God,
so
the Yeti.
Yeah.
after the break, Sting heads to the ring to explain his actions from last week and last night. Number one, where was he? He was in Japan or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So he wasn't there Monday. So then he tried to confront the Horseman and Luger, I guess, at WCW Saturday night, the night before Fall Brawl. They didn't want to hear it. The Horseman, I think, because then he's like, okay, I need to talk to Lex. And that's when he showed up at the pay-per-view. Tried to explain to Lex it wasn't him. They weren't buying it, so... And Sting's cutting his promo with his back turned to the camera, by the way. A big F-U to corporate, to Turner Corporate, you know? He feels betrayed. He feels betrayed by his employer, and he had been the face of WCW for so long, always for the fans, always the good guy. So he flew back from Atlanta last week, and that's when he saw it. He turns on Nitro, seeing everyone doubting him. And yeah, nobody trusted him at the pay-per-view, specifically Lex Luger, who he had his back for the past year when nobody was sure if Lex Luger was a good guy or a bad guy. It was Sting that always spoke up for him. And
he was a bad guy.
Yeah.
He killed Miss Elizabeth. Sorry.
Yeah. So Sting says everyone who doubted him can stick it. And from now on, he considers himself not a part of WCW or the New World Order. He considers himself a free agent. That doesn't mean you won't see the Stinger. You'll just see him when you least expect it. And with that sentence, we will not hear Sting speak again until after Starrcade 1997.
Wow.
It's what, fucking 14 months away?
Damn.
Something like that, yeah.
He's mad.
Yeah, I remember that. I'm like, where the fuck did this thing go? They dropped him out of the rafters. But they did a better job because he didn't die.
Yeah, it was all good up until Starrcade 97 when Hogan pulled his creative control. That doesn't work for me, brother. Like, come on, asshole. We've been building this up for 14 fucking months.
Yeah, his creative control. His strolling in at 5 p.m. Yeah, it doesn't work for me, brother. Where the fuck have you been? I was getting blown by Miss Elizabeth and a bunch of other people. Taking my Hulkamania, my vitamins. Yeah, that's it.
I never use steroids, brother.
Only when I use steroids.
Well, I only use steroids when I use steroids, brother.
Kids, don't forget to inject the vitamins in your ass so no one sees the track marks.
Stick them between. If your butt cheeks start to get bumps, brother, put them between your toes.
Here's the new Hulkamania syringes. So you can put your vitamins in.
Red and yellow.
When you draw it back, it goes, "I am a real American."
Yeah,
finishes
right,
the theme song when you inject it.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
That son of a bitch could have saved the wrestling industry. All he had to say was, "Yeah, Vince is a piece of shit. He's responsible for this stuff." Vince would have been thrown in jail. That money would have been taken away, and it would have been, competition again. It would have been fucking great.
Mhm.
He's like, I made a lot of money with him, brother. Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna make more money with him. Fuck everyone else and all the people who died because of McMahon. Yeah, fuck them.
Gab Stargate says the suits need to stay out of wrestling and they need to find great talent with skill and audience appeal.
Yep.
Damn you, TNT. Dude, that's exactly what's going on in Hollywood right now. It's why it's just reboots and shit. It's suits. It's the same Turner execs that fucked up WCW. They didn't just disappear. This is Hollywood and the TV industry. They get promoted when they fuck up.
That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing going on with all of our entertainment right now. It's all corporatized bullshit right now from people who don't have a creative bone in their body.
Yeah, it's dirty shit.
Yeah. So, speaking of suits, Gorilla Monsoon addresses the WWF fans from his office, and he states that Jim Ross has piqued his curiosity because from where he sits as the president of the WWF, Scott Hall and Kevin Nash will not be appearing, as both of them are currently under contract to another organization. Gorilla apologizes to the fans if they feel like they were hoodwinked or misled, and he will stick around tonight to ensure no other misleading statements were made. This upset Jim Ross, who left his position at the announce table and was kind of pacing back and forth in front of the commentator's booth. Jerry Lawler goes to interview Jim Cornette and Vader in the ring. Cornette hypes his match at In Your House Mind Games with Jose Lothario. Vader's been training Cornette on how to unleash the beast. And Cornette calls out Tony Williams, a light heavyweight, for a public workout. And Cornette keeps going to try different submission moves or holds, and Tony keeps one-upping Cornette and just kind of making Cornette look like an ass when Cornette was trying to show off his skills. So, of course, Vader gets involved, knocks Tony Williams on his ass, and then they tie him up between the top and middle rope. And I don't know what I was thinking. It was Jim Cornette, but I wrote Jim Ross right here. So Jim Ross can punch and slap the jobber. No, Jim Cornette starts punching and slapping Tony Williams up once he's all tied up in the ropes. Classic heel stuff. On Nitro, Flair, Anderson, and Woman leave Elizabeth backstage because just 24 hours ago, the NWO was spray painting her in the ring, beating the hell out of her ex-husband. And she's just too afraid to come out to the ring. So, before the match begins, before this next match with the Horsemen begins, Syxx confirms himself as the sixth member of the NWO when he uses a remote control to shower the NWO propaganda pamphlets from the rafters. The same pamphlets that the fans were handing out earlier in the show. I mean, classic WCW move, but the Horsemen end up making their way to the ring. Then comes an interesting tag team that I didn't really ever think about them teaming together, but Marcus Bagwell and Chris Jericho. The wrestlers are all in the ring, and these pamphlets are still fucking falling. They're all over the ring. You see Arn Anderson trying to kick them out so they can have their match and not slip on a piece of paper. And yeah, Flair and Anderson defeat Bagwell and Chris Jericho in 11 minutes when Flair puts on his figure four, and then, of course, here's the lovely woman as always to grab Flair's hands and help him leverage it, and he pins Bagwell. Again, a decent match. I never thought about Bagwell and Jericho as a tag team before, but I mean, it could work. It could.
Yeah.
Then we go outside to see Syxx has left his seat there in the stands and is with the NWO as they all mock the situation between Sting and Luger. Next, we get our first Intercontinental Championship tournament semifinal match. That's a lot of words. Wildman Mark Merrow with Sable defeats Owen Hart in the semifinals match in 7 minutes and 30 seconds when Owen takes off his arm cast and attempts to use it as a weapon, but Mero's able to dodge that, gets a hold of the cast himself, nails Owen with it, and then pins him for the win. And, here's Vinny's favorite part. Pat Patterson joined the commentary team. He was the first Intercontinental Champion.
Yeah, Vince, I knew you 20 years. Gay. 50 years gay. I'm proud.
He had to blow Vince's father for that title, so that it means a lot to him.
I guess so. Yep. But he enjoyed it. Because he's gay.
Oh, yeah.
Killing two birds with one stone. So,
disgusting.
Yeah. Now, one thing about this match is there was a lot of drama going on at the commentator's booth because Jim Ross has finally sat back down, and while this match is going on, he mentions that Monsoon's comments hurt him earlier, and he thought they were friends. And then here comes Gorilla Monsoon. He cuts in a picture-in-picture and said, Jim, this is business, not friendship. And JR is mad. He asks, out of all the years they've known each other and all the miles they've traveled together, have I ever misled you, Gorilla? And, Gorilla Monsoon, he can't say that Jim has ever let him down, but this is coming out of left field. He knows that Scott Hall and Kevin Nash are under contract with another organization. And Jim's like, well, I guarantee you they'll be here next week. And Gorilla's like, I guess we'll see then. Smart how they do that, because Gorilla Monsoon keeps saying Nash and Hall, and JR keeps saying Diesel and Razor.
Yeah.
So it's like they are hyping them, but then they're flat out saying no, Kevin Nash and Scott Hall are under contract with some other organization. We get a video package on the recent South African tour, and finally get to the interview with Bret Hart, and Bret says that Brian Pillman and Owen Hart are liars. Him and Owen are not back together. He won't be at Mind Games. And he still hasn't decided what his future will be with the WWF. So that was a little sad. I'm like, I thought he was coming back at Mind Games.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. He ain't been around since WrestleMania.
The promo package for the matches was really weird. That graphic or whatever they had.
It
was
that little
super. Yeah.
It was like really here. I saw a picture of it earlier. It's like really
super
early
creepy
CGI,
mm-hmm.
and it looked horrible. It was meant to look cool, but it looked fucking weird.
Yeah.
One reason it's got that Mankind mask on it, but here I'll share it right now.
Yeah, the fucking promos used to do. There was a lot of just screw ups.
Yeah.
Amateur hour. Yeah, I remember this thing.
Oh, it just looked really bad and creepy.
Mm-hmm. But not
and they had this
creepy,
weird,
just
they had this weird music playing too when it showed up.
It looks like one of the fucking was that Mars Attacks aliens that goes bad.
It looks like Jose Lothario in Mankind's mask.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Jose Low, baby.
Yeah. Which Etep.
Yeah.
Guess what happens at Mind Games?
Savio Vega. That's what it is.
Dun, dun, dun. The land of extreme invades. The land of extreme. That's when they bring in RVD and all them.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
They're all been them.
Sabu already got fired from Nitro. He did. Sabu was already fired from WCW.
He was only there a couple weeks.
Yeah, he was there 2 weeks and they shit canned him.
Yeah. So Lex Luger defeats Chris Benoit and Steve Mongo Mcmichael in 6 minutes when Sting, who's supposed to be his tag partner, never shows up. So yeah, Luger gets the torture rack on Benoit, and right when Benoit is ready to give up, Flair and Anderson storm the ring. Oh, does he get him? Yeah. It's via DQ. They kick his ass, and Lex wins via DQ. Sorry about that, guys.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, he never tapped out.
Yeah. So Sting was supposed to tag with Lex, but was nowhere to be found. And then out in the parking lot, the New World Order are all sitting in a limo, watching the show on one of the small limo TVs, and Hogan lets his crew know exactly what Bischoff was telling them. Everybody who matters will be gone next. Bischoff was talking about everyone in WCW besides Randy Savage is going to be in Japan next week on a tour, which is a weird way to market things. Like, hey, none of our stars are going to be here, but the NWO will be there, and Savage will be there, and we're coming up on Halloween Havoc, where Savage is going to wrestle Hogan for the world title. So it's pretty much a guarantee the NWO will show up next week, and they just kind of play around. Six is saying that Macho's his favorite. Can they get tickets? And they're just making a mockery of it. And that's how Hogan says he's the champ and he can get everyone backstage passes. So the NWO's happy, and that's how Nitro ends.
Hey, did you see this? Oh, sorry, man.
No, go ahead.
This question here. Who is the most successful ECW star outside ECW? I'd say Rob Van Dam.
That's what I would say too.
It depends on what you mean, because if it's like anyone who's been in ECW, I'd say Stone Cold.
Yeah. Well, he said ECW star. But
yeah, I was thinking Rob Van Dam. Yeah.
Because when honestly, Stone Cold did, he was injured. He couldn't do anything. He was just doing the promo shit. And then what did he have? Maybe a match or two. He didn't really have much going on. Then he went over.
He was over with the crowd there, though.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say the Dudley Boys were pretty popular, too. But it was like a team effort.
Right.
Yep. Yeah. If you're talking single stars, I'd live and die with Rob Van Dam on that one. I guess you could say Chris Jericho. He never really was considered upper. Well, he had the TV title in ECW for a bit, but I'd go with my original and say Van Dam. Honestly,
yeah, he was the whole effing show.
Yeah,
he didn't leave ECW till he had to.
Yeah.
Yep.
Plus, he was a really cool guy on top of it. He was awesome with fans. And remember when he stopped that crook? There was a lady who got her purse stolen, and he chased them down in the streets.
I've got some Rob Van Dam stories, because his best friend and the guy who introduced Rob and his wife DJs at another strip club, and
nice.
Basically, my other DJ, when I was managing my strip club, he knew the DJ, and he's like, "Hey, Rob Van Dam's there," and we went and met him, hung out for a bit, and then they actually went out drinking a few times and came to our strip club. And remind me when we're off stream. I've got some stories.
That'd be awesome.
So, Rob Van Dam, definitely. I think we all agree on that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So, so that's how Nitro ends, with the NWO making fun of the mistrust between Luger and Sting, and the fact that all the stars are going to be in Japan next week. Meanwhile, we have our final semifinal match in the Intercontinental title tournament on Raw, and it's also our main event. Farook versus Psycho Sid. I think Sid shows off his half brain in this match, because Farook is able to nail Sid with the chair without the referee seeing, and then goes to pin Sid, but only gets a 2 count. And then Sid just stands up in front of the referee. There's something to lose in this match. It's just not your run-of-the-mill match.
Yep.
and you've made it this far in the fucking tournament. And Sid just gets up, grabs the chair, and starts just beating the shit out of Farook with the ref and everyone else to see. And it was, yeah. So, and it was, if you think about it, it's close to the same finish as the other semifinals match where Owen Hart tried to nail Brian Pillman with the cast, Pillman dodges and nails Owen with it. It's just Sid wasn't successful, but kind of the same finish. So, yeah. The finals of the tournament will be Wildman Mark Marrow versus Farouk next week on Raw. Before Raw ends, Undertaker tells Goldust that he is the first on a list that must be destroyed before Taker gets to Mankind and Paul Bearer. At In Your House, we will see Goldust's final curtain and the premiere of the new Undertaker. Over in the Boiler Room, Mankind is going against Shawn Michaels at the pay-per-view. He hopes he'll become a sexy boy when he wins the WWF title this weekend.
That promo was great.
Yeah, he's like, I hope I'll be a sexy boy, and it's like Shriek.
Yeah, and he's like, I hope the girls will kiss me too.
Yeah. So let's check out some takeaways from this week's episode of wrestling. Some of the takeaways from the night of September 16th, 1996 are as followed. On WCW Monday Nitro, the Halloween Havoc card is beginning to take shape as the World Championship is on the line. Hollywood Hogan defending against Macho Man Randy Savage at the MGM Grand Garden in Las Vegas, Nevada. There was lots of NWO hype tonight without much action from them, but there were teases of an NWO TV show, and they're talking about taking over next week when most of the WCW stars are in Japan. Syxx is the 6th member of the NWO. Do you get it? Huh? Sting is a free agent who stood up his tag partner Lex Luger tonight, and we will not hear the Stingers speak again until after Starrcade 1997. Glacier made his debut, and I believe he will go on to be undefeated in his first year. Nitro is a lot better now than it was after Bash at the Beach. We get good NWO stuff every week now, instead of the drip feed we got at first, which I'm sure is due to Hogan having to finish up on Thunder in Paradise, or other obligations he had before coming back full-time. Mix that with half of the WCW stars being in Japan, and the shows between Bash at the Beach and Hog Wild were nothing to write home about. What we are getting now is compelling story with great action in the ring, and speaking of Japan, some of the roster will be in Japan and miss next week's Nitro. Most of the WCW stars, but I'm still expecting a good episode. Over on WWF Monday Night Raw, the Intercontinental title will be decided next week between Wildman Mark Marrow and Farouk as they both won their semi-final matches tonight. To great controversy, Jim Ross guarantees that Razor Ramon and Diesel will be on Raw next week. We heard from Bret Hart for the first time in a long time. We also saw Steve Austin taunt Bret Hart tonight, saying that Steve Austin was actually the best there was and the best there ever will be. Pat Patterson made an appearance on commentary during the semifinals matches and gave Kevin Kelly a handjob at commentary. The Sultan made his debut tonight being trained by the Iron Sheik for Bob Backlund, who he's not happy with the current state of wrestling. It needs to go back to a simpler time in his opinion, and don't you worry, Mr. Backlund, you're going to get that around 2005. This is the 12th straight week the WCW Nitro has outperformed Raw in the ratings. 14th week if you count the 2 weeks that Raw was preempted for the US Open. The last time WWF outperformed WCW in the Nielsen ratings was June 10th of 1996. Usually I would repeat the Mind Games card here for the upcoming In Your House this Sunday, but let's go ahead and just go through the results.
Yeah.
That was so fucking
Nice.
funny.
I like it.
You did
That
a
was
great
good.
job, and then you peppered in some awesome stuff in there.
Mhm.
Yep.
That was
That was
excellent.
solid as fuck.
Yeah, it was.
So, yeah, we go into this Sundays in your house. It's Mind Games, and they start with the free for all match over on like the preview channel, if y'all remember that. Savio Vega defeated Marty Jannetty only to be attacked by Justin Hawk Bradshaw after the match. And that sets up our first match for the pay-per-view, which is a Caribbean strap match between Justin Hawk Bradshaw and Savio Vega.
Didn't Savio Vega's bitch ass just have one of these with Austin?
Yeah, right. That's like all he does. Caribbean
I think
strap.
Savio Vega has an unhealthy obsession with straps.
Yeah.
Not ons or what,
BDSM
but
or something. Yeah.
It's very possible.
he's impossible.
So
It's very possible.
Savio wins this match, but during the match, the ECW wrestlers showed up. Tommy Dreamer and the Sandman were shown at ringside, even getting involved in the match a little bit before being thrown out of the arena. So we got that ECW angle coming up here. Then we get a singles match. Jose Lothario defeating Jim Cornette. Also in this pay-per-view, we get some footage. It's distant and it's blurry, but it looks like Razor Ramon and Diesel are beating the hell out of Savio Vega. I guess we'll find out more tomorrow night on Raw.
Woohoo!
We get the World Tag Team Championship match. Which their tag division is just dying right now. It's so bad. So I think this is the right call. Owen Hart and British Bulldog defeat the Smoking Guns to win the championship. And the Smoking Guns have been tag champs now since May 26th, and it's September 16th. So, I mean, they've good 4-month reign, you know, and it feels like it. Feels like they've been champions forever.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good. Owen Hart and British Bulldog. I think they're both. They were both a little lackluster as singles wrestlers. I'm sorry, but they're just missing something.
Yeah, that whole shit.
Oh
with the cast on the arm was so retarded for so long.
Yeah.
What were they smoking, man? we need this stupid gimmick.
Yeah, and then you see D'Lo Brown with his chest plate, and that shit was awesome. That was the same line done right.
You're right. That one did work compared.
Yeah,
that's just funny shit.
And it wasn't even like a full cast. It was just some gay little.
Well, JR called Owen out on his cast thing too.
Oh, it did?
Yeah.
Of it being stupid?
Well, he calls him out and says that his arm has been fine because I guess he New Japan or somewhere.
Yeah, I remember that. But I mean, I thought someone called him out like legit. Like, this is a stupid gimmick. Lose it.
Hilarious.
So, next up, we get a singles match and Mark Henry's debut against Jerry Lawler, and he forces Lawler to submit to a backbreaker, but then he's attacked by the first iteration of DX, which is Hunter Hearst Helmsley, Marty Jannetty, and Leif Cassidy. What a shitty DX that would be.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Pretty fucking bad.
We get
Leif Cassidy.
Well, it's like, what do they have to do with each other? Like, Jannetty and Leif Cassidy are the new Rockers, but why is Triple H with them? Like, Vince was just like making him do. He was comparing Triple H to the new Rockers back then. Like, he was so mad at Hunter for the fucking curtain call. Yeah. So then we get a final curtain match between Goldust and Undertaker, and this was weird because it's like Mankind beat up Undertaker for a month, and then they announce Undertaker versus Goldust at the pay-per-view. Like, okay. So then they had a match, and then they announced Taker versus Mankind in a boiler room brawl where Paul Bearer turns on Taker and gives the power of the urn to Mankind. So then now we're at the next pay-per-view, and they're like, well, let's do Undertaker versus Goldust again. Like, so it's like weird. He's like feuding with, he's not even feuding with Goldust. They're just making him wrestle with Goldust at every other pay-per-view, and then giving you Mankind. So it's just weird. But yeah, Taker defeats Goldust again. Maybe Goldust won the first match because Mankind interfered. I think that's what happened.
Think so.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. So then we get the WWF Championship match. And that was Mankind versus Shawn Michaels. During the final moments of the main event, Vader comes down to ringside, attacks Shawn Michaels, and Shawn Michaels had super kicked Mankind and was pinning him, and that's when Vader attacked him, and of course that's a DQ. Then Psycho Sid runs out to chase Vader off, and subsequently the Undertaker, who's Mankind's rival, appeared from a coffin at ringside and attacked Mankind after the match was over. And that was your Mind Games pay-per-view. Kind of a come down from the thrilling 96 SummerSlam with Vader and Shawn Michaels, but I kind of would have rather them like had Mankind defeat Taker at the pay-per-view before SummerSlam, and then let Mankind go on to wrestle Shawn Michaels at SummerSlam rather than Vader. Just because, they had Vader kind of on a roll as far as being a big guy and hitting Vader bombs on everyone, but the things Mankind was doing at first was fucking brutal. How he was just destroying the Undertaker every week. And,
which was unheard of before that.
Yeah.
Oh, he was the first one that was doing it?
Yeah, like Taker wasn't used to getting dominated like that.
Yeah. I forgot that Vader was the first one.
So it's up to you guys. We're like an hour and a half in. Do you want to break into this second week? Probably end up going over.
That's up to you, boss.
How you doing
fine with it.
What's that, Vinny?
I said, how you doing tonight? If you're up for it.
I'm down to go. But that's one thing I did want to talk to everyone about, is because there's so much going on now on Nitro. Like Raw kind of doesn't compare. There's 2 or 3 items to talk about there, but Nitro, there's a shit ton going on. So I want to hurry and get to Brett and Steve Austin, which is like 2 months in showtime away. Like we're in October, and by the end of November they're going to have their match at Survivor Series. So I want to hurry and get there, but we're going to need to cut down to 1 week soon with so much going on. So let's go ahead and do this one. It'll just be like a super show, and probably next week we're going to jump down to 1 week episodes.
And when does Raw get a second hour?
March. That's why I wanted to go to March 1997 before we drop down to 1. So, we can talk about it backstage afterwards, but just so you know, our great audience knows, if we do come back with 1 week next week, that's why. But that'll also give us more time to really go in depth into things that we watch, instead of, like I know Etep wants to talk about Alex Porto.
Listen, don't you be making fun of Alex Porto.
Hail another monster. Thank you for joining us. I may not be able to make fun of Alex Porto, but I can sure say hashtag FFSS.
Yeah.
So,
agreed.
September 23rd, 1996, WCW Nitro is in Birmingham, Alabama at the BJCC, with a rating of 3.4. That's 0.3 down from last week, but they're still winning the night. WWF Raw, Hershey, Pennsylvania, at the Hershey Park Arena, nowhere near any vampires.
One place was called BJ, and the other one is Hershey Park. Pat Patterson was making the rounds at both places.
He took the Hershey Highway.
Looks
He's
like
like,
Pat took the old Hershey Highway to Chocolate City.
Hershey
I want to go
Chocolate
see
World.
my old friend. I want to go see Mean Gene.
Tutti Frutti.
Tutti Frutti. He's
Raw
totally
pulled the-
Tutti Frutti.
Raw pulled a 2.0 rating, so both shows are down a little bit from last week.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, son of a bitch.
Oh, son of a...
Eric Bischoff is a no-good, lousy son of a bitch. Hey! Come on, you son of a bitch! You son of a bitch, don't you hear me? That son of a bitch! Does he have no conscience? Does he have no heart? Do you have no soul, you son of a bitch? I'm Triple H, you son of a bitch!
I am reality.
He's a son of a bitch if you ask me. The Rock just put Billy Gunn's face in that large woman's ass.
I love that. The Rock just killed Billy Gunn's career is what he should have said. He just murdered his career like he was frickin' Ray Caruth with his girlfriend. And then he hid in the trunk of the car.
Billy Gunn. He was exploding up until that point.
Yeah.
Like a random cat started shrieking outside of my window right now. Holy shit.
Whose fucking cat is this?
Sounds like it was Billy Gunn's cat.
That cat's a son of a bitch.
Oh, that cat's... Good God, King, that cat has a family.
It has no soul.
What?
It's a ginger cat.
That cat came from the depths of hell and reached up and pulled the Undertaker down with him. Good God, that cat is a son of a bitch.
And in that montage, the other thing I noticed too, I notice every time, is how fucking big Triple H's nose was compared to Benoit. Dude.
Oh, yeah.
He really made that's Toucan Sam right there. Holy hell.
Yeah.
Follow your nose.
Yeah,
Follow your nose.
he did. All the way to Vince McMahon's bank account through his daughter's ass.
No shit.
Hey, Alex Porto can still wrestle, y'all. He's only 52. Don't be talking shit. I'm going to hit this motherfucker up on Twitter. I'm going to hit Alex. We're going to get Alex Porto on the show. It's going to be magical. I'll be like, so how, and I'll just like kayfabe it. I'll just be like, so how did it feel to win this Transcontinental Scandinavian World Heavyweight title 17 times? He'll be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy, eh? He's Canadian. He'll be like, hey, what's wrong with this guy?
What?
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut up about Alex Porto, but I'm hitting him up on Twitter.
What?
Fucking Alex Porto. I'll have him on the show. I don't give a shit. That'd be awesome. So, our
He's only
current
5'11". Sorry, I had to look him up to see if I remember him.
I think that's taller than Benoit.
Yeah, he's
True.
5'11".
True. Who's Benoit? 5'8"?
Something around.
Yep.
Itty bitty.
Oh, shit, he's from Louisiana. I thought he was Canadian. He's Louisiana.
Oh shit.
Hell
Alex
yeah.
the Pug Porto, heartbreaker. He's 5'1".
What?
Damn.
Who's
5'1", 227. He's a little guy.
That's got to
No,
be
no.
a mess up. He's got to be
5'11".
5'11".
He's 5'11".
Yeah. Yeah, that's got to be a typo.
Because he
Yeah.
ain't that, like, Sonny was like 5'1".
Yeah, I
Right.
was going to say, there's no way he's 5'1".
No.
Him is just a little guy. He's afraid to get out of the car. Look, Mommy, the rhino's... That's it. I'm going to wail on you, big boy.
So, our current WCW champions are as followed. World champ is Hollywood Hogan. U.S. champ Ric Flair, not for long. World tag champs Harlem Heat, not for long. Lord Steven Regal's your television champ, and Rey Mysterio is your cruiserweight champion. Nitro begins with Shivani and Sabisco explaining that most of WCW stars are in Japan, with the exception of Macho Man Randy Savage, and while the stars are away, the NWO will play. Zabisco calls the New World Order a parasite that's festering within WCW, and then they show the local newspaper from that morning in Birmingham, and there's like NWO ads taken out in the paper, running propaganda in there, and we're gonna find out if Savage can handle the job at Halloween Havoc. Spoiler alert, he can't. So
son of a bitch.
Yeah. We start with what would get Mike Tenay canceled if he said it today. Kevin Sullivan and Conan with Jimmy Hart and Big Bubba defeat Brad Armstrong and Hooven Tude Guerrera via pinfall when Conan power bombs Armstrong and then tags Sullivan in, who double stomps Armstrong and pins him. So Conan kind of did all the work during the match, but then gave Sullivan the glory. Then the next thing you know, Big Bubba double axe handles Conan from behind, and the Dungeon of Doom start kicking the hell out of Conan in the center of the ring. Then at some point, was it Sullivan himself? He looks into the camera and says, "This is an initiation." And then Mike Tenay, Mike Tenay's analyst voice, right? Like he's like, this person is from Mexico where he trained under his real analytical voice.
Happens in the barrio,
yeah, he says, Mike Tenay says, this is the way Conan grew up in the barrio. Getting jumped into gangs. So it's okay.
He was in 18 gangs. He used to get jumped every day.
This is a beating of endearment, so yeah.
Which is weird because they didn't have initiations for anybody other than him.
Yeah, just the minority.
That's racist.
That's racist. He's out of line, but he's right.
Yeah.
Randy Savage is in the back with racist Mike Tenay, who says Macho Man has been publicly targeted by the NWO. Savage says whatever it takes, they can cheap shot him every day until Halloween Havoc. He was booked for Japan as well, but he took himself out to defend WCW. And either way, they're going to beat him up or he's going to take them all out. Savage says nothing makes sense, but he'll tell you something that does. Halloween Havoc is scary. Yeah.
It's scary.
Scary, brother.
It's a very scary, brother. Yeah, Halloween. You got the ghosts and goblins and the ghouls and the zombies. Oh, yeah, but you also got the spirit of Savage running around with the madness. Yeah.
You forgot about one thing during Halloween.
What's that?
Candy corn. Oh, yeah.
No, fuck your candy corn.
Listen,
Thank you,
motherfucker.
Greg.
You got vampires in Halloween, motherfucker.
That's it, vampires. Fuck your candy corn. Let's bring on the vampires.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah. I miss Halloween Havoc because not only because it was becoming a tradition out here in Las Vegas, but like they don't do stuff like that in WWF. Like it's late October, let's do Halloween Havoc and make it all spooky, and then Bash at the Beach. They got sand all over the place and shit. Like outdoor events and stuff. Like they don't ever do that in WWF. It sucks.
You have SummerSlam now.
Yeah, well, there's SummerSlam, but it's not like Bash at the Beach. It made it look like they were on a beach, and just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Everything's so corporatized with WWF.
Yeah.
So, Chris Jericho defeats Mike Pinos via pinfall when Jericho reverses a power slam into a pinning predicament.
Might clean your pinos.
Most of this match consisted of the Peen dominating a sympathetic baby face and Chris Jericho. And this is again, Mike. I really meant to call him Mike Enos that time. Mike Enos set up the steel steps like on their side, on the outside, and suplexed Jericho into them, but they were outside of the ring and the ref was just watching. Like, okay, I guess it has to happen in the ring. He suplexes Jericho on the steel steps out there and generally kicks his ass all over the place until Jericho pulls one out in the end. So they're really trying to get him over as that sympathetic baby face.
It's so crazy seeing him work like babyface like that.
Yeah.
Chris, like one of the best heels, like probably ever in wrestling. Like one of the best heels ever. Like as a sympathetic babyface, like it just
I couldn't stand him when he was a babyface.
Oh no, I hated him as a I loved him when he went heel.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like I did. I loved him as a heel. It worked so well.
We're gonna turn you babyface and have you talk about my daughter's tits every week. So
why don't we push? We'll act like you're dating Stephanie, but it turns out every time she goes to bed, it's me she's climbing into bed with. Get it?
So weird.
Incest, Chris. Think about it. You're actually going you're going to bed with my wife Linda, and I'm fucking my daughter.
Didn't he do that with that whole ministry shit?
dude, yeah,
Well,
that
the
was
higher
another
power.
one. But he had suggested an incest angle at one point, and like Stephanie and a few of the agents that are like, "No, Vince."
Can you see Vince?
Hey, pal, I got a good idea. What we're going to do is we're going to build up this huge stable. You get me, pal? We're going to build this huge stable. There's going to be a higher power running it, though. We're going to trick Stone Cold.
She was like, "No, Daddy, I'm going to go back with Macho Man."
Are you with?
Speaking of higher power, Edge's stable or whatever.
Yeah.
I think it was either Bischoff or somebody suggested they should bring Gangrel back and have him be like the higher power as a mentor to Edge and like do the whole brood thing.
That'd be kind of
awesome. Yeah.
Where's Chris? Is Christian still in Impact?
He's in AEW.
Which
is
that's from like my buddy was pointing it out to me. It really feels like Edge's stable's kind of a their answer to the House of Black in AEW.
Yeah, I was watching Cornette's thing about it, and he's like, obviously Cornette is gonna praise WWE and shit because he's like, but he basically equates Edge's thing to a better version of the House of Black.
A better version,
which I disagree completely.
Yeah, well, considering Edge has been in the game for like 20-something years, and Malachi Black, I don't know how long he's been in, but he sure wasn't around in 1998. So Glacier showed back up his second week. That had to be a breath of relief for everyone. Glacier defeats Pat Tanaka in 1 minute and 11 seconds via pinfall.
Holy shit.
It's like Sub-Zero versus Shang Tsung, dude.
I hate Pat Tanaka.
Your soul is mine.
I hate him.
Yeah. Well, he lost in a minute, so there's that.
Yeah.
He deserved it.
And you know what's weird? He came out to Goldberg's theme.
Yes. Yeah. That's 2 weeks in a row
Yeah.
that he's been featured like as because he jobbed out to somebody else. Like, who was it?
They didn't even give Goldberg his own music. They gave him a recycled song they had laying around. Like, holy shit.
This guy
from fucking Pat fucking Tanaka, who came out looking like Baze Malbus or Sheeran Imwe, like those two. Like, yeah.
So Shivani calls Glacier a success story within WCW. Fan reactions would tell you otherwise. Yeah,
that's a bold move, Tony. Let's hope it pays off for you, bud.
Well, one person thought it.
Yep.
So the WCW World Tag Team Championship is on the line as Harlem Heat with Sister Sherry and Colonel Parker defend against the Public Enemy. Booker rolls up Rocco Rock. And while they're rolled up, before Nick Patrick can even start the 3 count, Rocco Rock kind of rolls back over to where it's Booker's shoulders pinned. And I mean, even Booker didn't really notice, but they were. And the referee makes the 3 count. So then Booker gets up and starts celebrating, and Rocco Rock jumps up and starts celebrating, and then the ref comes in with the titles, and Booker tries to grab him. He's like, nope, and handed him over to Public Enemy, who just won their first tag championship in the WCW. And yeah, now they're going to go on to Halloween Havoc to defend against the Outsiders. They go into the stands to celebrate with the fans.
I wonder who's going to win the belts on Halloween Havoc.
Right. And just wait, Flair's scheduled to defend the U.S. Championship against the Giant, but that match isn't going to happen, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, yeah, then we go to picture-in-picture as the Public Enemy is celebrating and stuff, and it shows the NWO arriving at the arena. And that takes us into hour 2. Over on Raw, Kevin Kelly, Jerry Lawler, and Jim Ross are on commentary. Raw begins with distant, blurry photos of Diesel and Razor at last night's Mind Games pay-per-view, beating the hell out of Savio Vega. And we're going to have the finals of the Intercontinental Tournament tonight. And not only are we going to have that tonight, we're going to do that right now, as Farook comes to the ring with Sonny, Wildman Mark Marrow, accompanied by Sable.
Was Sonny banging Farook too?
Oh, of course.
And Vinny,
He hit it. Damn!
Guess who the special guest referee is for this match?
Is it Pat?
It is.
I knew it.
I am a real Pat Patterson. Fight for the butt of every... Oh, wait, never mind.
I had it was refereed by Tommy's uncle, Pat Patterson, but he's not here tonight, so just like I'm talking shit. So, no, one thing that's interesting, we're going to get like the first interaction between Sonny and Sable tonight, and they really wanted those two to feud, but Sonny wasn't a wrestler. But yeah, Sonny ended up getting ejected by Pat Patterson, as there was only enough room for 2 sexual deviants in the ringside area, and Lawler was on commentary. So, though, you know, basically Farouk and Wildman Mark Marrow go for a double knockout, and Sonny runs back out to get her guy up, and then that's when her and Sable start going at it a little bit. But
they let them do that on Raw.
Dude, awesome.
They showed her getting her guy up.
She was being a fluffer.
It's fun.
Damn.
Pat Patterson is the only one who would eject Sonny from the ringside area. Like, what the fuck?
I don't want to see that.
He wanted to do it.
So, in the end, Mark Marrow wins the Intercontinental title in 9 minutes and 58 seconds after a 450 splash from the top rope. And I just want to point something out, okay? So, Marrow and Austin entered the WWF at the same time. And I've noticed they never really talk about this in the history books, but I noticed like they want to push both of them, and they've even had them wrestle each other before and have made it kind of even. They don't want to put one over the other, you know? So it feels like this was a compromise here, where since Steve Austin got the King of the Ring, we're going to give the title to Marrow. So we're not like just building up one of you and not the other. And obviously, like, Mark Marrow's going to get lost in some boxer gimmick, getting his ass kicked by Sable, while Steve Austin is main eventing WrestleManias. But it's just interesting to see Vince kind of like test the waters with both guys right now.
Yeah. It was so weird. I don't know. When you put tassels on a guy's boots, I'm out. I'm like,
yeah, dude. And Marrow was already like the Johnny B. Bad gimmick was like, it was over as fuck. I can't even knock his like because Macho Man wore a lot of tassels, you know.
Yeah.
He wore a lot of crazy
Yeah, but it
shit
worked
like
with
that.
Macho Man because the whole gimmick that he had. It's
Yeah,
those other guys
Mero-
that were just like on their booties, and then they had just their tights on. I don't know. Something
Yeah,
weird about it.
Oh, no,
when
no,
he
trust
first
me.
debuted. Yeah.
I never would have wore anything like that. Like I wore the big ass pleather pants, you know. I did. I was like, you know, but no, I never liked that look. It just didn't make sense. It's too much shit to get like those are gonna get ripped off after you wrestle so many matches. And if you want to constantly be replacing your gear, which isn't fucking cheap, you know, by all means, but I mean at that level, you know, they're not paying for I hope they're not
That's
paying
like-
for their own fucking gear. That shit was stupid.
tassels
That was
were
fucking gay. That
Speaking
was
of
fucking gay.
Speaking of the stuff getting everywhere, I think Adam Page, he has like the weird like because he's a cowboy or some shit, cowboy shit or whatever. He has like the tassels on the side of his fucking pants, and he's like beating the shit out of this dude or wrestling, and like the little pieces of the shit is all over the ring. It's like, dude, what the fuck?
Little pieces of shit over the ring. What was
Yeah.
Hammer doing in the ring?
What,
Hammer was in the ring?
what was it? Sid Vicious. He shit his pants during WrestleMania 13 main event.
Wow.
At the main event, he did it.
Yeah,
I got
Wrestling
half the brain that
Undertaker.
you do, and I pooped myself.
Wow.
Etep wore the
was
pleather pants trying to get pat
WrestleMania.
pat. They weren't tight. They were like Rey Mysterio style, like the baggy ones, yo.
Wow.
Tony, roll the footage.
Wait, which foot? I
I
don't
don't
have
know.
footage of you unpleathered.
I gave you footage of me in pleather. I sent that to you in confidence, you fucking whore.
Well, that's just a car.
I hated that angle. It hurt my ribs.
So, yeah, okay. So, oh no, I need to share my. Hold on, I need to share my screen for this because we come back from a commercial break and yeah, let me get to it real quick. We come back from a commercial break and Wildman Mark Mero is in the back with Savio Vega and here we go. Yeah, they're celebrating Mark Mero's Intercontinental title win. And there's a bunch of wrestlers there, but who stood out to me was Savio Vega and Tucker Carlson.
Yeah, you sent that over. I couldn't stop laughing.
Like, I'm like, what the? Like, I think that's Tony Williams, but holy shit. That's all I'm saying.
Clone.
And then Mero, that's the face of this is as successful as you're ever going to get in this organization. So he
Yeah.
probably thought big things were to come. Nope. Sorry, Johnny B. Bad. So yeah, that's the beginning of Raw. We get the payoff to the Intercontinental title tournament. We crown a new champion. There's a big celebration. They go to commercial. As they go to commercial, it shows a camera panning towards a dressing room with the names Razor Ramon and Diesel on the door. Over on Raw or on Nitro, we have Eric Bischoff, Bobby Heenan, and Mike Tenay taking over the commentary. And Bischoff says the threat is here. The NWO is in the house with a surprise new member. That's all Bischoff knows. No one knows the identity of the new member. And counting Imposter Sting, this will be the 7th member, 8th member. 6 was the 6th, but he came out after Imposter Sting, right?
Yeah.
So we've got, that's got to be 8 now. We've got Hogan. We've got the Outsiders, Ted DiBiase, the Giant, 6, Imposter Sting, and now we're going to get an 8th member.
Yep,
So-
it's the eighth man.
Yeah. We get a we get Greg Valentine defeating Randy Savage. And then he's okay, so he's really over. He's got a lot of heat building up to Halloween Havoc. And sorry, I'm trying to find, I messed up on my notes. So, for some reason, Liz is here, and even though she is afraid of the NWO, she could have went to Japan with the Horsemen and gotten away from them. She decided to actually show up tonight at the arena where they stated they would be several times last week. Liz shows up and watches scared as the NWO comes out and basically beats the hell out of Randy Savage, and not just kicks his ass, but they basically take over the entire show. The
sweet.
Giant, the Giant comes out on the mic and says, "Good job, gentlemen." Then announces the man, the myth, the man to be with, the greatest professional wrestler in the world, Hollywood Hogan. And the NWO basically holds up Savage for Hogan, and Hollywood just kicks his ass, drops a few leg drops on him. Best part is when Kevin Nash whipped out one of those like long Slim Jims you get for like $1 at the store, at the gas station, and just starts whipping Macho Man with it.
Yeah.
And knowing that Halloween Havoc is like brought to you by Slim Jim just makes it better.
Yeah, that was
The
great.
Giant actually eats it like at one point, snaps into it.
Does he? I missed
Yeah.
that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's great. So Hogan gets on the mic and says he's used to being in Hollywood, but the bright light shining off Randy Savage's bald head is just too much. So he'll do something about it because everyone knows Hollywood is an artiste.
And bolder than him.
I know.
Yep.
I know.
Savage
So-
at least had like some semblance of fucking hair left up
Yeah.
there, like some kind of dignity. Hogan was just like
It's
clinging to the remnants of a once great society.
Yeah, like he's been like that for as long as he's been popular. Like,
Yeah.
Yep. Since like 1981, he's literally been bald.
yeah.
Just
So
damn Hollywood.
I just wear the bandana, brother.
really strong start to Nitro, and they're not even done. They go over to the commentators booth, chase off Tenay, chase off Bobby Heenan. They're gone for the rest of the night. And between the outsiders, between DiBiase and like they're the commentators the rest of the night with Eric Bischoff. They hold Eric Bischoff there hostage, and to make sure he stays out there, they introduce the 8th member.
Yeah.
The
The
most-
CEO of security.
Yeah,
for
the most
NWO.
electrifying, the real people's champion, Virgil.
Oh my God. Did you hear that story?
I'm not sure.
Sid
I'd like-
said that story of what he could do to himself.
Oh, he's got a huge cock.
Yeah. They said
Like
he
that's
used to-
that shit's legend. He's got a huge fucking cock.
They
Is that
say-
why they called him Vincent after Vince McMahon? Because they can both.
Fillet themselves.
Yeah, because Vince McMahon has a big dick in his mouth too, his own dick.
Hey, rough
I
girl.
thought it was always Virgil's dick or someone else's.
Yeah, yeah. So they named Dusty Rhodes. What was it? Or Vincent. When he went over to WCW, he was Virgil in WWF. That was a rib on Dusty Rhodes. Them calling him Virgil was a rib on Dusty Rhodes. So when he went to WCW, they called him Vincent, which was a rib
Okay.
on
Vince
McMahon.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, that's how he got his name as Virgil. Was a whole
What,
rib
like-
on Dusty Rhodes.
Talk about the least accomplished wrestler when you're known for shit you can do backstage more than your in-ring career.
Dude.
That's why he got fired, because he was doing it at one of the events. And Psycho Sid goes, "Yeah." He goes, "I don't." He goes, "These guys are disgusting." He goes, "Why would you do that?"
Bret Hart didn't want anyone showing him up. Like,
A buddy I work
Yeah.
with ran into Virgil, and I guess Virgil asked if he wanted his autograph, and he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then afterwards, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's like $20." He's like,
Yep.
"Fucker, you." He's like, "Fucker, you offered me an autograph. Like, I'm not paying for shit."
He needed
Oh,
more
dude,
drugs.
he's a hustler. Like he tries to do that at cons and shit. Like
that's
Yeah.
what they do in the Walmart parking lots out here. They're like, "Hey man, this is my mixtape. This is my mixtape," and they hand it to you. Then they're like, That's just $5. Bitch, I don't want your fucking mixtape or your fucking autograph. Like,
Right?
Exactly.
Like, who the fuck are you SoundCloud ass motherfucker? Get away from me.
It was also
Hail
Virgil.
Rough Girl. Didn't
Um,
see in the chat. What's up?
oh, sorry.
Rough girl.
I pulled it. Well,
She heard Drew had a Virgil.
Drew's the Asian Virgil.
Yep.
Asians
Yeah.
don't never mind.
He's gonna
God.
puke. He's gonna puke.
He's gonna puke. I want to see him puke. Swallow your own load, Vincent. Virgil, whatever your name is. I can't remember.
And he's literally manhandling Bischoff. Like, he's got him by the neck. He's like shaking him, and then he like grabs him in the hair, and he's fucking eating the shit out of Bischoff almost.
Dog.
He got
I went.
slapped so many
I went.
times.
I went to a house show. Right? And they were like, this was in '97. I think it was '97. It was down in Saginaw, and they were like, it was a Saturday. It was Saturday night. We went, just fucking house show, and they were like, oh, the fucking NWO is gonna be there. So me and my boys, we got our NWO shirts on.
Mm-hmm.
Goldberg, they had Goldberg there, right?
Mm-hmm.
This motherfucker and NWO music hits. We all pop. We're up fucking throw. Here comes fucking Vincent. We're like, motherfucker. Like, are you serious? Like, that was the only motherfucker from the NWO that was there that night. I'm like, I wonder how he pulled that card. Like, everybody else is like somewhere else doing something cool, and then like he's in Saginaw on a Saturday. Jobbing to Goldberg for the 50th time.
Like what they did to the NWO black and white, like it was like on top of the world for so long, and literally in like a few episodes it went from that to Stevie Ray leading him out on Thunder. Like, what the fuck is going?
Okay, so split. I'm not gonna get into that right now because that's a really deep dive.
Yeah, it was so bad. So
it was
over on
we.
Yeah.
Tommy? Who's Tommy? Tommy's in the chat. What's going on?
Why can we hear Tommy?
Yeah.
Tony's being invaded.
Let me go
the ECW music hits. Go ahead, Tony.
I'm going to go check on them.
The ECW music hits and Tony's guinea pigs are like, this is extreme. Fucking one of the guinea pigs is smoking a Marlboro Red, smashing a fucking Budweiser can on his head, holding a Singapore cane in the air. Fucking hits Tony in the Achilles tendon.
That's how it's done.
Fucking another one comes out. I don't even want to like make up a guinea pig character. I was gonna be like, he goes like this, like he's Sabu, but I'm like, fuck that. Guinea pigs are adorable and they're amazing. Sabu's a piece of shit.
That's great.
Oh, I love every time you do that.
I
Fuck.
know.
I was thinking about that tonight. I'm like, how am I gonna work a fuck Sabu reference into this show tonight? I'm like, I'm sure I'll figure
You could
something.
have just started with, hi, I'm Etep. Fuck Sabu.
It's just-
It's the work.
every time I saw like I was on Nitro, I'm like, oh, this fucking piece of shit Sabu. And I think I even said something in one of my videos. I'm like, and he was gone from the company in a couple weeks, or like after like a month or something. And I'm like, and nobody cared.
So
Just like,
I'm just going to say the only time they weak like that is like when they want something to eat. And I just fed them dinner right before we went on. So what I think happened was I just ate a fruity edible and they smelt it and were like, hey, I want some of that shit. So they got a bell pepper instead.
There you go.
Yeah.
that's fucking. I want to get more. When I move, I'm gonna get guinea pigs.
They're awesome, man.
I haven't had them since I was a kid. Them things are awesome though. Yeah.
See, and you're still assimilated. So,
Yep.
over on Raw, the WWF Tag Champions Owen Hart and me title shot with Clarence Mason, who's the most useless fucking character. Like, he's not a good manager. All he does is, man, I'm gonna sue you. Like, that's his whole reason for existence. Anyway, the tag champs defeat the Body Donnas via submission when Owen locks Skip and a sharpshooter. Over on Nitro, which, I mean, this Nitro kicks the hell out of Raw tonight.
Yeah, didn't the NWO interrupt every single match?
No, they took over. Like the rest of
Yeah,
the
they
show
ran
is
the
NWO.
broadcast.
Every single match.
It was
Okay,
so fun to watch.
yeah. So this is the one where they introduce they're going mainstream and they bring out their new NASCAR number 49 that'll be driven by technically the 9th member of the NWO, Kyle Petty. Then the Giant acts as the new ring announcer, and DiBiase and Vincent stay with Bischoff on commentary. The Outsiders make their way down to the ring. We get Jim Powers with Teddy Long versus, and this is my question, since they're calling Virgil Vincent now, is that why they changed it to M Wall Street from VK Wall Street?
Yeah.
Because it was, VK for Vincent Kennedy Wall Street. Yeah. So, because now he's M Wall Street.
It started out as M Wall Street, then it was Michael, it was Mr. Wall Street, then it was Michael Wall Street, because he was Michael Wall Street in the NWO Japan, because Rotundo went over to Japan and was doing really well. Him and NWO Sting, Jeff Farmer, ended up going over there and being pretty big. So
regardless, Jim Powers is attacked before the match can start. Randy Anderson, the referee, is disgusting. He leaves the ring. Nick Patrick comes out to take over, and it becomes the Giant versus Jim Powers as M Wall Street's getting his ass kicked on the aisle. And it's literally just Giant teasing Jim Powers and playing with him, and then he just choke slams him, gets the win.
Did you see when Giant went to grab him and Powers just bumped for it? That was so funny. He went to grab him for the choke slam and Powers just back bumps. And Giant was nope, picked him up and held him like a small child, walked him around, and then his choke slam looked so much better when he came down with it.
When he never through. Yeah.
He never should have stopped doing that.
Yeah.
It's like a power bomb. The jackknife looks nasty, but when you follow through with that power bomb, like Dean Malenko and Chris Benoit threw some nasty power bombs for little guys. If you notice, when one of them power bombs the other one, who's that? Oh yeah, Eddie. Yeah, Scott Norton. They follow through with them, and it looks and it sounds so much better than. Yeah, so Big Show's Giant's choke slam was I liked it way better in WCW.
What I liked about Nash's powerbomb is that he's so tall. I get what you mean. It does look better when they follow through, but I do.
But that's the little guys.
As one or two people are doing it, it's fine. How he fucking brings you up and basically angles you and lets you just fall 7 feet. I like that.
Yeah,
because it looks vicious in its own way.
Oh, it's fucking nasty, especially if you're the Giant.
Yeah. Sold out in 1998. Almost the last day of the Giants' wrestling career. So Hogan is in the back with the Nasty Boys. This won't be resolved on this episode of Nitro. He says they've always been friends and he wants to talk business with them. Gave him the keys to his suite, and the Nasty Boys are going to go talk with Hogan after the show tonight. On Raw, Sid versus Vader has been booked for the next pay-per-view, In Your House Buried Alive. And that's one thing, too. They forgot to mention this earlier. On this Raw, they have a tombstone in the aisleway. It shows Buried Alive, and it has Undertaker and Mankind on there. And, pretty cool looking. So definitely something they wouldn't do nowadays. Taker cuts a promo on Mankind and Paul Bearer from a grave site, promising to bury Mankind alive. They will never rest in peace. Over on Nitro, we have Jim Duggan versus Ron Studd scheduled, but Hogan and Nash beat up Ron Studd in the aisleway, and Syxx has the match with Duggan, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Syxx's WCW debut match now.
Yep.
When Duggan gets out of hand and hits the 3-point stance, Giant pulls him out, gives him a choke slam on the floor, rolls Duggan back in. Six gets the 1, 2, 3, and then we go back over to the announce table, slap Bischoff around a little more. I mean, Vincent kept slapping him in the back of the head tonight.
Yep. Did we talk about this last week? Who Ron Studd was?
I think, but I don't remember.
He's the Yeti / Ron Studd / Reese from the Flock.
Yeah.
He was actually trained by Big John Studd and got the okay to use the name
Ron Studd. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. From Big John. Yeah. I looked into that because when he came out as Ron Studd, I'm looking at him going like, who is this goofy shaped motherfucking giant? Because he has an odd shaped body. He has a very odd shape, like almost a pear shaped physique.
Yeah.
But elongated.
And then knees buckled in.
Yeah, he's like 7'2", I think. He's bigger than Paul White. He's a couple inches taller than Paul White. But yeah, he that was I thought that was funny. I was like, he had 3 different gimmicks in the span of like 3 years in WCW. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The Yeti.
But at least he stuck with it with Reese.
He wasn't so bad with Reese.
No, I liked him as part of the Flock.
Yeah. So we get the line of the night next for either show. The Stalker Barry Windham comes out to wrestle Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Steve Austin is on commentary. It's the Stalker Barry Windham, but he's got his fucking face all painted and shit. And Austin's like, why is he wearing paint? Everybody knows it's Barry Windham.
Yeah.
So this match ends when
hey pal, don't say his shoot name, pal.
Gorilla position, like, God damn it.
Well, he doesn't say his name, does he? He's just like, why is he wearing face paint? We all know who he is.
Yeah.
I thought he actually said his name. You ruined my joke, Draven.
Sorry.
Get the fuck out of here.
So
sorry.
Savage.
That's the second time tonight after not liking Nitro, the game. Or wait, no Mercy, the game.
No Mercy.
Yeah.
I was like, that's inexcusable. You're out.
You son of a bitch.
Dude, like, they're just doing Hunter Hearst Helmsley so dirty. Like, it's been months since the curtain call.
Good.
Helmsley's defeated by Barry Windham when Mr. Perfect comes out and steals another one of his escorts, another one of his girls.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is like the 5th time in a row Triple H is lost by that. So, yeah.
Is this the episode where we get Jeff Jarrett exposed?
Oh, we do. I don't even know if I might have forgot to write that down. I'll look it up. So, yeah, we get Jeff Jarrett exposed. Do you remember it, Draven?
Basically, he's the WWE's or WWF's Milli Vanilli.
Yeah,
because he's lip syncing, and then I guess next week or something we're gonna get who actually sung,
which is Road Dogg.
The thing, which is the real Jeff Jarrett or some shit.
It's Road Dogg
because he was Jeff Jarrett's roadie at that time.
Yep,
gotcha.
JEFF JARRETT Jeff Jarrett.
The chosen one.
Man, I love the New Age Outlaws. Like, and then they tried to push Billy Gunn in a singles career. Like, yeah, that's not gonna work.
Now that he's not part of WWE, he needs to go over to AEW, and they need to reform the New Age Outlaws over there.
Except now they're like the old age outlaws.
True. But he has his sons. They're the Gun Club or some shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're goofy as fuck.
Thanks, Gap Stargate. Have a great night.
You have a great night, brother.
Take care.
This is Flair and Razor versus Macho and Mr. Perfect. Post-match Flair. Hennig, that's your real name? Hennig.
I fucking love Flair.
Yep.
So, Mankind cuts a return promo, and Paul Bearer is there with him, and Mankind says that he feels that Taker cost him the WWF Championship and that he's going to take something from Taker at Buried Alive, his final breath. Now, this is the good part. Next up, we get NWO Sting versus Bo Lido. He's new. NWO Sting's new, and they played Sting's theme music, and then and you're in the stands. You can't really tell. So NWO Sting comes out as the fans just explode, and they just cheer and cheer while Eric Bischoff is saying only an idiot would fall for this. Like, you just called the whole arena idiots.
Well, to be fair, Vince was doing it for a long time, so hey pal, they'll never know that. That's never mind.
Yeah,
Never mind.
I own the characters. No, they thought it was Sting for like the first probably 30 seconds before they realized it wasn't, and then he got good heat, and yeah, so NWO Sting wins with what Hogan called the Scorpion leg lock in 1 minute and 36 seconds. Over on Raw, we okay, before JR brings out Razor Ramon, I've got to look up what was going on here. It was like a worked shoot, and I don't understand why. Like, maybe they were trying to turn Jim Ross heel. But he said before he brings out Razor Ramon, he's going to give us the scoop on the last 4 years of his career. In his WWF debut, he left an NFL commentary position with the Atlanta Falcons, I believe, to come and wear a toga at WrestleMania 9 here. Oh, and that's something else I got to say. WrestleMania 9 at Caesar's Palace, right?
Uh-huh.
During the show tonight over on Nitro, I forgot to write this down. Hogan kept talking about his match with Randy Savage at Halloween Havoc, which is at the MGM Grand Garden Arena, but he kept saying Caesar's Palace. And I'm like, dude, are you having like flashbacks to WrestleMania 9? Yeah. It's like Caesar's Palace isn't really known for holding shows like that. It's probably why WrestleMania 9, part of why it was a shit show. They had to like set up an area for him and stuff. It was, yeah.
They all run together, brother.
Yeah, he kept saying it's Caesar's Palace, and it's like, I know MGM has to be pissed because they're like competitors, like the companies that own the casinos are competitors. Like,
I remember, was it Hogan?
On McDonald's and Wendy's.
When WrestleMania was in New Orleans, he called it the Silver Dome. We're at the Silver Dome, brother. They're at the Superdome.
He's like, it looked silver when I came in.
I thought I was wrestling Andre again, brother. I'm old as hell, brother, and I use a lot of hard R's. Nothing, really?
Sorry, I was yawning.
It's fine.
Yeah. Oh my God. Trina put that on Twitter, which is funny. She's like, oh my God, we could use the N-word again.
Yeah, Foley's getting off Twitter. He's done.
Is he? What
He
a
said he's
bitch.
gonna get off Twitter. That's what he said.
Big
Is it
Foley.
because of Elon Musk?
I don't know if it's because of Elon Musk, but that's what it's insinuated, that it's because of Elon Musk.
What a Farook.
But Foley has taken breaks from Twitter before, so who knows?
yeah, it's a wasteland.
Yeah.
He's got brain damage too.
Did you guys? I know I see Vinny and Fisk saw it. I found a WCW deep cut of my man Alex Porto.
Yep.
Yeah. Here, I'm gonna share it so you can bask in the glory of the best arm ringer ever. Here, look at this.
Don't let me get a strike.
No, it's just it's quick.
It's one move.
Look at that.
Goddamn.
Look at that. Look at that greatness. Look at that. That was the best arm ringer on Alex ever. Alex Porto, ladies and gentlemen. WCW and WWF.
WWE is so mean. They won't let you show like a clip of a match from 20 years ago. Not even just a small choke slam or something without striking me. Like, dude, it's for the fans. It's so we can all take a look when something weird happens or there's something notable.
My last Nitro video, every clip was 4 seconds or less. With or without audio, 4 seconds or less, and I had no issues. None.
Yeah, but I'm playing them here on a live stream, and we're just like watching Giant pick someone up and slam them, and they're like, "Oh."
Yeah, I had
Yeah, it was bullshit.
my intro
was
for me and
ridiculous.
my buddies thing that we were gonna do is got the Brothers of Destruction like intro, like their entrance, like up to this is a monumental night or whatever JR and them are saying, and I got claimed for that. It's like, what the fuck? I'm not even using the whole thing. So
Tommy says Foley's been bitching about conservative views for a while. He's woke as shit, so is Nash of that. And again, what, 26 unprotected chair shots?
Yeah.
Put the Neuralink in him, and he'll start thinking again like a human being.
And Kevin Nash has benefited from capitalism his whole life. Now he wants to bitch about You know what? Hey, Kevin Nash, why don't you shut the fuck up before I just flick you in the quad and just destroy you for the rest of your life? His quad. If he bats his eyes wrong, he's gonna pull a quad.
Of course. Timber. His robot knees will give way.
I have a Kevin Nash action figure. I should have brought him in here and kicked him in the knee with Mcmichael.
You know, Tommy,
you could have dropped one hard on him.
If it was Foley's kids that fucking turned him to the dark side, then I'm gonna go back and watch the match where Rock just beat him with the chair and his fucking kids were in the front row just crying their eyes out. I'm gonna go back and watch that a few times.
Dude, Frankie has the best idea, Tony. Look at that. So what we'll do is next week, you can narrate it, and I'll have my camera pointed at the table, and I'll get my ring, my LJN ring, and I'll get wrestlers, and I'll act out the matches.
That's perfect.
But I have to go off your commentary.
Listen, what they did, if they turn their fucking father woke, that is so much more dangerous for his brain than taking unprotected chair shots. That's all I'm saying. Motherfuckers.
It's true.
Unbelievable. If anybody made him go woke, it was his daughter.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's what's going to happen when they put the Neuralink in him. He's going to be like,
wasn't his daughter kind of hot?
His daughter is hot.
Yeah, I thought so. I thought his daughter
They were
was
going to
hot
have
as hell.
like a show or some shit together, and I don't think
I thought
anything
they
ever.
I thought they did, didn't they?
Oh, maybe. I don't
Well,
know.
I heard, Foley is a piece of shit though too. I know in the convention scene he ripped off of at least 3 T-shirt designs from one of my friends who had a wrestling comic book, and Foley had ripped them off.
Jesus.
And then I think he didn't want to pay the artist either who did it. I mean, the guy, he's a cheap miser on top of it.
Fucking Foley. So, all right. So our last segment of Raw, we've got JR fucking shooting on Vince McMahon. He says he left the position at WrestleMania 9 to come there. He carried King of the Ring 93 and then no longer did any pay-per-views in 93. Why? Because Vince McMahon didn't like the competition. The day after Super Bowl 28, which was on my birthday in 1994, JR woke up with Bell's palsy. Yeah, but it was my birthday. Instead of getting any sympathy from Vince and the WWF, he was promptly fired on February 11th. He calls Connecticut an overpriced hellhole, which is not a work shoot.
What year was the palsy?
94. That's not like the day I was born, but it's like
No. I was curious.
Yeah,
I forgot how long.
I wish it was 94.
Remember when Vince was imitating JR's Bell's palsy?
Yeah.
Kind of like I do. Well,
So-
it's kind of like I do, so I can't really hate on him for it, but it was just really funny to see somebody else do it.
You're not. He's in a higher position than you. So
Oh,
you're not
yeah.
punching down. You know.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So he calls Connecticut a hellhole, and he doesn't know what he's going to do when he's driving back to his house to tell his wife and 2 little girls that he's fired. Then when Vince was being indicted, and he said all this to the audience, like, damn, dude. He's like, when Vince was being indicted, he hired me back for 50 cents on the dollar. Jim Ross doesn't think Razor Ramon and Diesel was an accident, and getting them to come back wasn't an accident either. He worked hard to bring them back, so here we go. Come on out, Razor. And the way they played it, like, Jerry Lawler and Kevin Kelly are like, what is he doing? Is he trying to embarrass the WWF? What's this? And out comes the fake Razor, you know? So how they tell it in history, it makes it almost feels like it's meant to be like, you know, they're acknowledging that isn't Razor Ramon, you know, in the show. So it's bad, but it's like booked like to where it's meant to be bad. Like JR's fucking turning heel or losing his mind or something. So when they go back and everyone's like, that was so bad. It's like, I kind of like it. They weren't taking it serious is the whole point. Like I was always under the impression Vince was sending them out there. Like, obviously everyone knows it's someone different, but we're just going to go with it, you know, but we'll see how it plays out because we didn't get much. Like the fake Razor hits the ring.
Yeah. It's me, the bad guy. Like really bad impersonation.
Yeah, and Diesel doesn't even come out. So it's just that's how it ends. And then Savio Vega runs in the ring, starts striking him, and the camera cuts off.
Yeah.
So our main event on Nitro is High Voltage versus the Amazing French Canadians, because why everyone's in fucking Japan. But again, they don't get to wrestle.
What's the matter? They couldn't find the janitor?
Y'all sleeping on High Voltage over here, hating on Kenny Chaos and Robbie Rage.
Well, Hall and Nash kicked the shit out of them because they came out, took out the Amazing French Canadians.
Not so amazing now, are you?
Take that, because one of them had an eye patch. It was Carl Owlette, Pierre.
Yeah, the French Canadians.
Because didn't they start to do the Canadian anthem, and then fucking NWO comes in and beats the shit out of them?
Yep. Which it's like, how are you not going to cheer for that when they're in fucking...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they're in the U.S.
They're in Were they in Alabama?
Birmingham. So it's like, like that's a total face move down there.
Did he lose?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Beating.
Did he lose the eye because of Virgil?
You see what happened, pal?
Yeah. So that was basically the main event. Nash jackknife powerbombs Chaos, pins him, and that's the end of Nitro. And let's go through some takeaways with that show. Some of the takeaways from WCW Monday Nitro from the night of September 23rd, 1996 are as followed. This is the 13th head-to-head week of WCW defeating WWF in the Monday Night Nielsen ratings. Public Enemy have won their first WCW Tag Team Championship after great controversy and will go on to defend those titles at Halloween Havoc. Conan is used to getting jumped into gangs from living in the barrio, says Mike Tenay. And the NWO has all but taken over WCW while also transcending into the mainstream zeitgeist. You're going to start seeing people all over the place wearing NWO shirts. The current 1996 Halloween Havoc card is starting to shape up. We've got the main event, which is Hollywood Hogan defending his WCW World Heavyweight Championship against the Macho Man Randy Savage. We have the WCW US Heavyweight Champion Ric Flair, who is supposed to defend against the Giant at Halloween Havoc. This match will not happen as Flair is currently in Japan and will tear his rotator cuff. We also have the WCW World Tag Team Championship on the line as the Public Enemy defend against the Outsiders. And last but not least, we have the total package Lex Luger versus Arn Anderson, and there will be more matches announced before Halloween Havoc. We've still got a few weeks to go. Some of the takeaways from the September 23rd, 1996 edition of WWF Monday Night Raw are as followed. We held the finals for the Intercontinental Championship Tournament. Wildman Mark Merrow versus Farook. Wildman Mark Merrow was crowned the new Intercontinental Champion. We also had the fake Razor Ramon make his debut tonight in the last seconds of Raw, right after Jim Ross shot on Vince McMahon. And maybe it's because controversy creates cash, but I'm surprised Vince allowed Jim Ross to get on the microphone and say such things. We also have Psycho Sid and Vader feuding over the Who Gives a Fuck Championship. The In Your House Buried Alive card is starting to take form, and it goes as followed. We have Sid versus Vader, as well as Undertaker versus Mankind in a Buried Alive match. And I'm sure there'll be more matches announced as the weeks go on. It's a good time.
Hell yeah, I love that.
Oh yeah.
Thanks.
I get excited. Play it.
It is. It's the music so happy.
Yeah.
Fake Diesel looked like fat. You know,
Oh
like
my
his
dude.
face was so fat.
Did you see what I just posted in the private chat? I just said
Yeah.
now that I've seen that angle of fake Diesel Kane, I can't unsee it. He has a huge fucking jaw. He looks like Vinny will probably know who I'm talking about. Robert Zadar.
That 80s action guy. Yeah, yeah.
His fucking jaw was like this big. Robert Zadar.
my
He
God.
played Maniac. He played Maniac Cop.
Yep.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
guy,
yeah.
He always creeped me out every time I saw that fucker.
Yeah, he's fucking scary looking, bro.
Was that like natural, or did he get like into an accident and they had to reconstruct his jaw?
I want to say, I can't remember, but he's scary looking.
I want to say I can't remember.
Bruce
I
Campbell's a
can't.
Maniac Cop. as
Would
well.
you hire him
Yes,
to
he
be
is.
your mayor?
Not looking like that. I'd probably buy crystal meth from him though.
Dude, who the hell is it? It's funny because like his shoulders and his chest look like he's in shape, and then his head looks like it belongs to a fat man.
Yeah.
And fake Razor didn't even grow any facial hair. Like he at least has a 5 o'clock shadow. You peasants.
Kind of looks like a gay frog in this picture. Kind of.
He does. He looks like you'd find him behind a pizzeria blowing some dude.
It's
He's got a
sad
gun.
too because he doesn't have a bad look. I forget his name, but he doesn't have a bad look.
No.
But because of this, he'll be let go, and he should have been let go. But he's going to go on to wear a mask for the next half decade.
Yep. They never should have taken his mask off.
Nope.
No. Undertaker mentions that too, but then he,
They
of
shouldn't
course,
have.
backs off of that and says, you ended up making it work. But Taker was like against it when they were planning
Oh,
that
yeah.
backstage. Like,
I can't believe how pudgy faced he was.
Mhm.
That's insane. But what is he the mayor now of Tennessee?
Knox,
John-
Tennessee.
Yeah. I want to acknowledge Frankie's comment. He says Mark Romero was the Clark Gable of wrestling. I can see that, Frankie. I can see that. I have weird takes on wrestling. Then frog it.
He did thank his Lord and Savior after he won the Intercontinental
That's good.
title.
The Flying Spaghetti Monster?
Yes.
Okay. I told Trey if he didn't listen, the Flying Spaghetti Monster and Space Jeebus would get him.
Whoa.
Oh, Jesus.
Space Jeebus. So we don't fuck around. Space. All right. I'm sorry, Tony.
Oh, dude, I love hearing about the Flying Spaghetti Monster and Space Jeebus. That stuff blows my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So let's go ahead and go around
Elon
everyone.
Musk
who
and
can-
Jesus?
Spaghetti Jesus.
Spaghetti Jesus.
Etep, what have you got going on, man?
My dog is rattling my door because she's barking at a squirrel or a rabbit or something in my front yard right now. Hi. Yeah, I have 2 videos coming out tomorrow. We have the 2 live streams tomorrow night. The member stream at 8 p.m. Author Stephen Walton, the tree historian, author Stephen Walton will be joining me for that. And
Your tree historian.
he'll be your tree historian, born in the trees of the fandom.
He'll
Can't see
be
the forest through the trees.
without his little step ladder. He needs his little step ladder. Just a little guy.
You brought it from Fauci.
This Mcmichael, when Mcmichael does this, he's now taller than Stephen Walton. But no, so
My
I've
leaves
got
are up here.
I've got a video dropping at I think 10 or 11 tomorrow, and then 4. I'll tweet them out tomorrow beforehand. I'll be working on another video, and then we've got the member stream at 8, and then the big show at 9 with me, Tony, Stephen Walton, and TBD. Will be there with us too. TBD is a great guest. TBD is TBD. So that's going on tomorrow, and then I'm working on another Nitro video. The one from September 25th, 95 goes public tomorrow. There's always tomorrow. No, it's going to go public tomorrow. I just wanted to sing again.
Second strike tonight. No.
Man, it was only like 2 bars. We're good. It was under 4 seconds. Sorry, Mama Susan. I take it back. No, but yeah. So that and tune in every Monday 8:35, and you can join if you want. You can dance if you want to. Because if you don't dance, your friends don't dance, and there are no friends of mine. So you can. That's it. I'm done.
And 3, you're up.
Well, thank you for joining us, brother.
Thank you, man. It was fun.
Time.
It was fun as always. Love you, man. Thank you.
Mr. Draven.
Hey, just playing Elden Ring over on Twitch, and probably some Vampire Survivors. I don't want to do something over here on YouTube. Again, I'm just not sure what yet and how that's gonna go, but stay tuned for that.
What are your thoughts? Like, it's been like a couple weeks, couple months now. Like, I know Elden Ring was pretty hard at first. Like, where are you at now with the game? Like, how do you feel about it? How do you feel about the story, the gameplay?
The story is great. Gameplay is good. It's still hard, and I'm like level 100 and something right now, so things are still difficult.
That's good though.
Yeah, exactly.
3 controllers later.
Right.
I'm actually pretty good with controllers. My buddy Shadows is the one that breaks controllers. Pretty much. But yeah, so far the story is good. I'm like towards the end because we burnt the Erd tree, and that's like one of the cardinal sins or some shit in this world, and the round table is like burning too, but there's an actual other round table like there's like all these I feel like there's like parallel worlds within the world but they haven't really explained much of that. So, but I'm near the end, and it's still pulling me in and
cool.
Being like a challenge and stuff. Normally, like once you get like super overpowered, like shit's like you just steamroll it, and this isn't the case with this, which is nice.
Is it a like spoiler to talk about the main antagonist?
There isn't really a main antagonist, I guess you could say, because you're basically trying to become the Elden Lord and basically fix everything that's going on in the world, like because people can't die. So there's a bunch of different quest lines you can do that could like, because there's multiple endings, to like bring death back to the world or like create an eternal night and stuff like that. I'm going with Eternal Night because vampire and yeah.
Awesome.
And it's the hot witch chick with the 4 arms. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Did Walton show up when you burned the tree?
He did not. He did not.
Did he show up when you said this girl has 4 arms?
No, he didn't. I did kill the Dung Eater though, like a couple streams back.
Amber Turd was in the game?
Yeah, that's what I'm like. Was it Amber Heard?
And no, basically it's this guy who's like corrupt and he eats like this, like I forget what it's something seed or whatever. But it if you let him out and let him like go, he will corrupt things. It's sort of like a zombie. I would assume it's sort of like a zombie apocalypse. He has like some disease that like spreads and will corrupt everything. If you, I released him, but then I fucking killed him right away because I'm like, I'm not letting that shit happen.
Yeah, the dung eater.
Yep. But you get his outfit after, it's just all this like pustule like armor thing.
Oh,
it's neat. Yeah.
Is it that's what you call the Amber Simps?
Yep.
Turd eaters.
Yep.
I need to get that game. I definitely
it's good.
do. I think they just released The Force Unleashed on Switch. I think I need to get that too.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I love that game. That was a lot
Same
of fun.
here, man.
What, The Force Unleashed?
Yeah.
Nice. On Switch?
Yeah, I think. I know they have Knights of the Old Republic. I'm waiting for part 2 to drop. So.
Sweet. Yeah, why don't they do 1 and 2 together?
Right. They're only like $15 a piece or whatever.
2, like,
anyway,
unfinished?
yeah. What's that?
Wasn't Knights of the Old Republic 2 like they didn't actually like finish it? Like it's like not a full.
I think they finished it. I've had people tell me it's better than the first one, but I haven't played the second one.
Gotcha.
Well, that's what I was going to ask with those games. Did they do that? Like with the Force Unleashed? Well, the sequel had more problems, but like, did they update the graphics or any of the issues that they had, or they just ported it over?
Usually, it's just ported over. Sometimes, if there's like an issue, that's affecting gameplay or something, some kind of glitch, they'll fix it. But usually, it's just like graphics and stuff. They leave them.
Gotcha.
It just depends.
Cool. Yeah, guys. Go check out VinnieArt on YouTube. I put up another video before. I got a new figure review. I did She-Hulk, classic She-Hulk. Yeah,
Nice.
This thing's beautiful. It's a Marvel Legends figure. Yeah, she comes with 2 heads because, 2 heads are always better than 1, I guess. No, one's more like a savage face, and the other one's like a really calm, kind of nice portrait on it. It's a cool looking figure. So, yeah, go check that one out over on my channel. I should have more updates coming soon. And I'm waiting right now for my, for the sample, for Shot of the Kraken from the printer. I want to make sure that the proof copy is good, and I'm still waiting on that. But I am doing some drawings in the meantime. I'm doing some drawings for backers on the campaign. So if you guys haven't yet, please check out Shot of the Kraken. Support it. I'm gonna be fulfilling pretty soon. So yeah, I'm hoping in a couple of weeks. Maybe towards the middle of the end of May is what I'm hoping for. Knock on wood and cross fingers and all that shit that the paper shortage isn't going to mess anything up. But yeah, that's where we're at right now. The book is complete. So if you guys want to support it, please do. If you're in a position to, that'd be fantastic. And yeah, make sure to subscribe to everyone's channel here. Great content, awesome people, and yeah, much love, everybody. Have a great night.
Yeah, man. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah, brother.
Of course, man.
Yeah, so as for me, I just released a single release video yesterday. I meant to get one out today, but I was busy working on other things, the takeaways and just different stuff for the channel. So, yeah, if you want to check out that single release I dropped yesterday, it's got Elon Musk on the thumbnail, and it's partially about him, but it's mainly about how the energy is shifting. Like, there's so much going on right now, so many good things going in the favor of the freedom-loving American that it's hard to keep up with it all, between CNN Plus going out of business in 23 days and $300 million, and they're planning on putting $1 billion into it. Like, geez,
that's funny.
Yeah,
it's
awesome. And between Netflix stocks kind of taking a dip and Disney shareholders losing money, and and it sucks that the shareholders have to lose money, but why are at some point, why are you supporting that?
Yep.
Like, if you're doing it to make a profit, well, how does that make you how does that absolve you from any of this? So you're propping them up so they can if you're a fan of Doctor Strange, I get it. But even then, I say the same as Star Wars. Instead of watching a fucked up Obi-Wan Kenobi series, why don't you go put on the stories that you know are good, the stories that do mean something. Same with Doctor Strange. I mean, do we need to see Patrick Stewart as Professor X again? Do you want to see Tom Cruise as Iron Man or whatever other cameos they have in there? I can go put on 10 movies right now and see Professor X, And what's he going to have? His couple lines of dialogue and that's it. Look at everything coming after Doctor Strange. There's nothing there. So it's like, I don't know what you think you're going to get from watching this, but it's not going to lead to anything good.
Yeah, guys.
Myth Marvel, you bigot.
I could already show you. There's a third-party company that already did a head sculpt for Tom Cruise. You're going to laugh at this shit.
As Iron Man?
As Iron Man.
Jesus.
They already did it, which is funny because they didn't release a photo yet, and these sons of bitches are like, oh, yeah? Here you go, Disney. Fuck you.
Will you put that link in the private chat? My buddy would get a kick out of that.
Okay.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
Like, I used to sit back and think, thank God Robert Downey Jr. took that role and not Tom Cruise. Like,
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
I do not do Tom Cruise.
He would have destroyed it.
No, Tom Cruise is a piece of shit.
Yeah, and see, and if you go see Tom Cruise in this movie, well, you're supporting a whole other group of pieces of shit. So, that's all I'm saying. Like, sorry to harp on it. I just, the movie's probably going to do fairly well, but the thing is, Disney needs it to do well, and if it doesn't do well, what's that?
That head sculpt's pretty good though.
Oh yeah, it's a good likeness. They did nice work, but it's funny that they pulled the trigger on them already and just said, "Here, look."
Yep. So that's all there really is for me. Go check out the video from yesterday. Good things happening. The energy's moving, but we can't be complacent. We have to be prepared because they're gonna lash out. They're gonna strike back. They're talking after all this time of not wanting to reform Section 230. Suddenly, they want to. These people are going to come back and hit harder. And if there's anyone who's taught us anything in the past few years, it's the Orange Glorp who taught us sometimes you just got to go on the offense. You have to strike back. We can't. There's the Orange Glorp.
Don't be the dung eater. Don't be the dung eater.
Hilarious.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
They find him behind the.
That's the dung eater. That's the dung eater. He's all about. Yeah,
you're right. He's dumpy looking too. So he's probably they probably found him in New Jersey behind a pizzeria.
Did he
parlor?
Did he just like stand in front of a mirror like I'd look better with the sun hanging from my neck?
It's in some of the other Souls games, like the thing is like praise the sun. So I think he's like a zealot and like he like kills and
behind pizzerias after he's done with doing his Pat Patterson routine. He's like,
it all goes back
the sunbeam.
It all goes back to the pizzerias.
Yep.
All goes back to the damn pizzerias.
It all circles back.
Yes. So, that's really it, guys. I love you all. Thank you for joining us. Fucking, let me go through here. Frankie knows it's great to see you always. Tommy, brother, it's great to see you, man. Angelous Draven, you're on the panel, so you don't really matter. Glenzer, thank you for always making us laugh, man. Keely Chow, thank you for always supporting us. Who else do we have here? Chris Fisk. What's up, bro? He was here from like start to finish. Thank you, man. It's always great to see you. We got to get you back on here soon. Gap Stargate. Love you, bro. Hope you're having a great night. Rough Girl TV, thank you for joining us. I'm sorry I didn't see you till a little later, Rough Girl. Parrothead, my friend, thank you. Thank you for all the memes, dude. You make me laugh like all the time, man.
Yeah. Got good ones.
Parrot head purveyor of memes.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. And I think there's a couple more people. I don't want to forget you. Brutal Morningwood, Judas Go Barbecue, another monster. You guys fucking rock. And 24 Eyes, good stuff. Comic Skater. Yeah. Thank you all. Papa Cotton, thank you for dropping by. And yeah, I think that's everybody. Superfan Adam Shawhan, brother, thank you, man. Hope you had a good night. The Wiener Dog Clan is in full effect, bro. They're taking over everything. One day it's going to be the Wiener Dogs versus the Guinea Pigs, and I don't, I'm distraught on what side to choose. So, yes. Other than that, thank you, everyone. Remember, they are not pop culture. They are agenda. Anything for power. We are pop culture. And have a good night.